HP TV8, High Point, Greensboro, Winston-Salem.
ABC Sports presents College Football Today. This afternoon from Clemson Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina, it's the Tar Heels of North Carolina against the Tigers of Clemson. And this ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Brewers of Michelob, put a little weekend in your week, and by Hertz, where winners rent. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a big matchup in the Atlantic Coast Conference between North Carolina and the Clemson Tigers. And as you look at the ACC standings, you see North Carolina undefeated in the conference. Their only loss coming last week at Oklahoma. They are 7-1 on the year. Clemson 5-3 overall is 2-2 in the conference. And so the Tigers really need a win here at home today in order to keep pace with North Carolina and really have any shot at overtaking both them and Maryland to have a chance to win the ACC championship here in 1980. This series between these two teams actually began about 100 years ago. They didn't play that often, however, until the last couple of decades, and Clemson holds a slight edge. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Steve Zabriskie. Welcome to a doubleheader day here on ABC. We'll be telling you more about that doubleheader in addition to our game, North Carolina-Clemson, when College Football Today continues.
Michelob brings you the 7-day weekend, Big Apple style. The New York City pace is fast and furious, but in this town, people play as hard as they work. So whenever they get the chance, New Yorkers enjoy a little of that weekend feeling with a smooth and mellow taste of Michelob.
Put a little weekend in your week.
Yeah. You've never seen a train like this. The Golden Eagle. Golden Eagle gleaming. Golden Eagle with its big shining logo, hauling a long load of freight past the crossing with its flashing lights and warning bells, to the yard where the rugged crane loads pipes day and night. And when you turn off the lights, night glow lights up all that action. Golden Eagle, what a train. From Tyco, of course.
As you can see, it's a beautiful afternoon here in Clemson, South Carolina. Temperature in the 70s. The blankets are out on the hill, and we're expecting a capacity crowd of somewhere around 63,000 this afternoon. Working as our expert commentator, the former All-American quarterback at the University of Utah, Lee Grosscup. And Lee, we really have a good rivalry matchup between these two teams.
Well, it's an old rivalry. As you mentioned, it goes back all the way to 1897. And it is not a storied rivalry because the two teams really haven't played that often. But it is a natural rivalry, and it's one that has intensified in recent years. And it's one that has become very exciting in recent years with the arrival of one famous Amos Lawrence. Now, this is a guy who last week became the most prolific ground gainer in Tar Heel history, and he's closing in on some other records, and he makes it always very, very exciting. They lost last year, and now the Tar Heels want revenge.
All right, they'll have a chance for it today. They are the favorite, by the way, and we'll be back in a little while to preview both of these teams for you. But as a portion of our extended pregame show today, let's go now to New York and our colleague Dave Dials.
Get the story from Dave Dials in New York.
You know, for the last 44 years in a row, we've had at least one major team in the country undefeated and untied. We might not have any this year. Last Saturday, for example, there were still 6 undefeated teams. But by the time the dust had settled, only Notre Dame and Georgia had survived. And so the top 10 today bears little resemblance to last week's order. 4 teams were beaten. Number 1 ranked Alabama and number 2 ranked UCLA were upset. And the last time that the number 1 and 2 teams were beaten on the same day was back in 1977. Let's take a look at some highlights of those games. Alabama playing in Jackson against Mississippi State, trailing 6-3, just a few seconds to play, and the Bears said, we're not going for a field goal to tie. These boys deserve a chance to win. But Tyrone Keys jars the ball loose from Alabama quarterback Don Jacobs. Mississippi State recovers and goes on to win the game, stopping Alabama's victory string at 28. That puts a slight hold on the Bears' quest for victory number 304. Meanwhile, UCLA played Arizona in Tucson, and the Bruins were in deep trouble all day long. We talk about the foot being in football. Sergio Vega got this punt off for 80 yards. In all, he punted 7 times and averaged 55 yards. Arizona was leading 21-17 in the 4th period when Mike Robinson's safety made the final score, Arizona 23 and UCLA 17. That temporarily dashes Bruins' hopes for a national championship. Meanwhile, undefeated and 6th-ranked North Carolina in Norman against Oklahoma, trying to establish itself as a power outside the ACC, but J.C. Watts scored 3 touchdowns, and the Sooners rushed for 495 yards and won the game 41-7. Now, Baylor, off to its best start since 1903, playing out of the conference against San Jose State. The Bears were leading 22-16. A roughing the kicker penalty kept a San Jose drive going in the 4th period. State took the lead when Gerald Wilhite ran it in from the 2-yard line, making the score San Jose State 23 and Baylor 22. In all, Baylor turned the ball over 6 times, and this pass interception by David Cruz ended Baylor's last threat. San Jose went on to score again, won the game 30-22. With that week of upsets behind us, let's take a look at the major conference and independent matchups in Week 10 of college football, with the postseason bowl selections just a week away. You know, right now there are 5 teams in the SEC who have a chance to win it all and go to the Sugar Bowl, so a great deal is going to be determined in that conference this weekend. Undefeated Georgia will meet 2nd place Florida in an ABC regional game, while Alabama takes on LSU, and we will have special bonus camera coverage of that. Mississippi State is off this week, and next week Notre Dame goes south to take on Alabama. That's an ABC nationally televised game, the second half of our doubleheader coverage. In the Southwest Conference, Baylor leads the pack, but there are 4 other teams right in there in the running for a Cotton Bowl berth. Baylor plays Arkansas, an ABC regional game. Houston takes on Texas, SMU against Rice, and TCU will host Texas Tech. In the Big Ten, 3 teams right now are undefeated in conference play in the run for the Roses. And today, Purdue faces Iowa, Ohio State plays Illinois, and Michigan travels to Wisconsin. Purdue next week will take on Michigan, and that'll be the first half of our doubleheader coverage. And down the road, Ohio State and Michigan, 2 weeks in Columbus, and that matchup could well decide the Big Ten winner for the 13th year in a row. The Big 8 race looks like it will boil down to that traditional clash between Nebraska and Oklahoma in 2 weeks. Today, Nebraska plays Kansas State. Oklahoma meets Kansas, and Missouri, a loser at Nebraska last week, will take on Iowa State. The Pac-10 remains wide open. USC and UCLA, 2 of the 5 teams on probation ineligible for the Rose Bowl, will have a strong amount to say about which team does win. USC, for example, meets eligible Stanford in an ABC game. Washington plays Arizona, and UCLA, a loser at Arizona last week, will play Oregon. Among the major independents, number 1 ranked Notre Dame will travel to Atlanta to take on Georgia Tech. Florida State meets surprising Virginia Tech, winner of 7 out of 9 in an ABC regional game, and Purdue faces Louisville, and Penn State takes on North Carolina State. And you know, let's talk about the Irish. How many of you preseason experts really thought that at this time of the year Notre Dame would be number 1, that Notre Dame has a lame duck coach? Dan Devine has said, it's my last year, I'm quitting. There isn't a single superstar on that team at Notre Dame. Well, Notre Dame has a freshman quarterback, and Notre Dame got a few early season breaks, and the Irish now find themselves on top. Let's go back a ways. Notre Dame was a slight underdog in the season opener, facing Purdue. But Purdue's star quarterback, Mark Herman, could not play. He had a sprained thumb on his passing hand. Notre Dame utilized a strong ground game. Quarterback Mike Corey bootlegging around the left side, 14 yards, an Irish touchdown. And Notre Dame went on to beat the Boilermakers. The score was 31-10. 2 weeks later, a 51-yard field goal, 4 seconds to play. Harry Oliver did it, longest of his career. Notre Dame dramatically beats Michigan 29-27. The mystique of South Bend continues. Then victories over Miami and Army, and Notre Dame met Arizona, leading 7-3, and a freshman quarterback. He's also a punter. His name is Blair Keel. Dan Devine called this play. He didn't punt. He ran 80 yards, a touchdown, and Notre Dame goes on to beat the Wildcats. The score was 20-3, and Notre Dame still undefeated. Then last week, 76,000 watching at the Meadowlands, an unheralded senior quarterback, or running back rather, Jim Stone. He carried the ball 33 times, 211 yards, 167 in the first half. Notre Dame wins over Navy 33-0. It was quiet on the South Bend campus this week, where being #1 is not all that unusual. And over at the practice field, it was business as usual. That 18-year-old freshman quarterback has a load on his shoulders, and Blair Keel and some of his teammates told me about the togetherness that makes this team #1.
I have a lot of help, really, from my teammates, because when I went in my first game, they talked to me and told me to relax, that they have confidence in me, and that made me feel a lot better. And I think that's what's helped me so far, is knowing that they have confidence in me, and I just have to go out and do my thing and help them as they do theirs.
At the beginning of the season, we prided ourselves in being a family, and more or less that's the theme of this year, is being one close-knit family. And me having 2 brothers on the team, it's really like, you know, I have, 100 and something brothers on the team, and it's really, something special, and it's really great to be a part of it.
We really work together better than any team. I've been here, this is my 5th year, so I think I'm a little bit of an authority on the subject. We work better together than any team that I've been on here. One thing that helps that out is that we are very young for a Notre Dame team who's doing this well. I think the younger guys are easier to mold, and therefore we gelled as a unit early on a little easier than we had in the past.
With 4 games left, including games against Alabama and Southern Cal, the hopes of Notre Dame for another national title remain intact. It would be quite a chapter in the storied Notre Dame tradition. In New York, I'm Dave Dials, and now let's return for more pregame activity.
Welcome back to Clemson, South Carolina. We're just about set for North Carolina at Clemson, and we'll be back with a more detailed look at both of these teams, including the the North Carolina Tar Heel offense in just a minute.
In many of the world's emerging nations, telecommunications isn't as much of a problem as it used to be. Thanks to, for one thing, microwave relay systems, which greatly facilitated telephone calls within the country. And even more important, something called earth stations, which made it possible to call out of the country via satellite.
G.
No, GTE.
Super automotive values from Sears. Get power to start. Get power to spare. Get the Sears 48. Now only $44.99 with trade-in, our lowest price of the year. You save $10. The Road Handler tires are on sale. Save 20% on Sears Best Radio for large or small cars, like the Road Handler for compact cars, as low as $34.36 each. At Sears, where America shops for value.
A man flies the Atlantic strapped to the outside of a plane. Monday on That's Incredible.
Ken Sneeden, Greg Whitfield, ABC's Tom Gerald, and Sam Donaldson. The team you know and trust, with a total information package each weekend. Ken's an experienced newsman covering events that make news in the Piedmont, joined by Greg with all the stories on weekend sports and recreation. Ken, Greg, Tom, and Sam, part of the team you know and trust. Watch them weekends at 11 on Eyewitness News and the ABC News Weekend Reports on TV 8. WGHP TV 8, High Point, Greensboro, Winston-Salem.
In looking at the Tar Heels of North Carolina offensively, they have some impressive people. They're averaging over 300 yards a game, and they have a tailback, quarterback-oriented offense.
Well, they have a multiple eye look to their offense, and they are very, very tailback-oriented, but they also get good mileage out of their fullback running inside. And they seem to have found a quarterback now in a talented young sophomore, Rod Elkins, number 10, whose favorite target has been, strangely enough, a backup tight end, number 88, Mike Chatham, who you see in action right here. Now, Elkins had a kind of a tough role because he stepped in for a guy who had become very prominent. That was Matt Kupek. And he has found himself now and given the leadership that they need. And no wonder that he likes to scatter the ball around, because he has a very talented backup quarterback at number 44 here, Kelvin Bryant, who is a world-class sprinter. He has 9.3 speed in the 100-yard dash. Elkins, I think you're going to see him doing a variety of things in terms of protection. Here he utilized bootleg action, rolls to his left, and finds his second favorite receiver, John Richardson, number 19. Kelvin Bryant, who I spoke of a moment ago, has really unlimited potential at that tailback position. world-class speed in the 100-yard dash, and he can do a variety of things, can find a lot of ways to hurt you. Rod Elkins, as I mentioned, a good all-around athlete, three-sport letterman in high school, is a guy who will take a play like this and maybe turn it into a touchdown. Watch what he does here. Throws a leaping, the old jump pass, and who does he find in the end zone? None other than famous Amos Lawrence. Well, now we're going to look at Amos Lawrence from his tailback position, and he just needs a little bit more yardage, and he becomes only the second man in NCAA history to rush for 1,000 yards in 4 consecutive seasons. The only other player to do that, of course, is Tony Dorsett. Here he is on a counter sweep to his left. And you see why he is now the most prolific ground gainer in Tar Heel history.
He's a great one, and he, of course, will be very much in evidence today. Yesterday, Lee Groscup had an opportunity to talk with famous Amos Lawrence, and he asked him about running up against this Clemson defense and the kind of key things that will lead to their success.
Well, first of all, it's going to have to take good play out of our offensive line. They're going to really have to come off the ball and execute real well. And in past years, playing against Clemson, I haven't been doing too well, but I'm really looking forward for big things tomorrow.
What about the passing game? What can you mix in to help your running?
Well, first of all, our tailbacks will have to be able to go out and pass patterns and sort of take some of the pressure off of us. And then when they're least expecting it, we'll probably come back and run the ball.
Really, though, defense has been the big story for North Carolina this year, and up until last week against Oklahoma, their defense was outstanding, and it's really one of the reasons why they're 7-1.
Well, they have a 5-2 look to their defense. Really, it evolves to more of a 3-4 look, and they are really strong at the outside linebacker position. And probably the two reasons are a couple of guys named Calvin Daniels and Lawrence Taylor. Let's first look at Calvin Daniels, number 93, who you see doing something they do so very often, and that is tackling for negative yardage. But the man who is really ubiquitous at that linebacker position, that's kind of a fancy way of saying that he is all over the place, is number 98, Lawrence Taylor, perhaps as good as anyone playing that position in America.
Well, yesterday also, Lee had an opportunity to talk to Lawrence Taylor as well.
Well, Lawrence is just about as good, as I say, as anyone, including Hugh Green of Pittsburgh.
Lawrence is one of those guys that is truly ubiquitous, to borrow a phrase from Mr. Groscup. But in talking to Lawrence yesterday, Lee was asking him about regrouping after that devastating loss to Oklahoma and the effect on their defense this week.
Well, as seniors, we sat down, we talked about it. We talked about it to some of the younger people, and we realized what we did. We realized that if it was a choice between the ACC championship and the Oklahoma game, we'd take ACC championship any day. So we know our main goal, which is to win ACC, is not over, and we got to work to achieve it. So I think everybody has a great attitude towards it, and we know we're a great team, and we're just going to work hard and just play our kind of ball.
That's a look at the Tar Heels of North Carolina, 7-1 on the year. We'll be back in just a minute to take a look at the Clemson Tigers, beginning with their offensive unit as College Football Today continues.
Airports. Now I fly through them. With new Hertz #1 Express service, I fly nonstop from my plane to my car without stopping at the counter. If you ask for #1 Express when you make your reservation, your Ford or other fine car and contract will be waiting at the #1 Express booth. Once again, Hertz puts you in the driver's seat faster than anybody else.
It's lightweight, it's portable, it's virtually indestructible. You can hammer on it, saw on it, sand on it, paint on it, drive a screw on it, cut a pipe on it, clean a door on it, fix a picture on it, or a wheelbarrow, or a chair, or a bicycle. You can even have your lunch on it. The incredible Black & Decker Workmate. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
My alternator light won't go out.
Uh-oh.
What do you think it is, Mr. Goodwrench?
Well, let's take a look.
Mr. Goodwrench has the right GM equipment available to work on your General Motors car. Thousands of dollars worth. But he also knows the value of a well-placed thumb.
What's the problem?
Just a stretched belt. I can replace it while you wait.
Okay. Keep that great GM feeling. Where Mr. Goodrich works. With genuine GM parts.
Offensively, the Clemson Tigers have had their problems this year. They've had a little bit of inconsistency, but of recent time, they have found a quarterback in number 3, Homer Jordan.
Homer Jordan has really given them a lift now, and currently he leads the team in total offense. He's tops in passing. Also, he is the team's best runner, which is kind of unusual. He gives you that extra dimension on the scramble play. That's where he has gotten most of his yardage. And right now, he is setting a better pace in terms of total offense than the great Steve Fuller when Fuller was a sophomore. So number 3, Homer Jordan, is definitely going to be one of the keys today. Jeff Stockstill is a wide receiver who can get deep and can also run very disciplined routes for you. Homer Jordan mostly will throw sprint-out type passes, occasionally play-action routes. A great receiver, one of the greatest in Clemson history, is this man, number 22, Perry Tuttle, who is now 4th among career receivers, and he is only a junior. Jerry Butler, of course, is the greatest they have ever had, but at this stage in his career, he is actually ahead of Butler. There is some of that sneaky fast speed.
Perry Tuttle had an opportunity also to visit with Lee Groscup, who was very busy yesterday. And in talking to Mr. Tuttle, Lee talked about the pass routes that they might use against this tough Carolina defense today.
Well, we got some couple routes that we're taking into the game, especially they play cover zone a lot. So we're going to go with the outside, go deep a little bit. We're going to go deep in the first quarter a lot, I think, and have the defense back respect us more than they have been the other games.
Defensively, the Clemson Tigers really will have their hands full today. North Carolina, as we mentioned, is favored. And they, with Amos Lawrence, Kelvin Bryant, and the other people they have on offense, they could give the defense some problems.
Well, defense is going to be the key today. They have a 5-2 look, pretty much of a basic 5-2 look to their defense. And they, again, get a lot of work out of the linebackers. Chuck Rose is a guy who is not only a physical player, but he's someone who is really an inspirational leader for that Clemson defense. Jeff Davis is the man, number 45, who, like Lawrence Taylor, is ubiquitous and plays wall-to-wall linebacker. And he is going to be making tackles all over the field, as will number 43 in the secondary, Terry Kennard. But I think this is what they're going to need today. There's going to be more than just an individual effort. They are going to need a real collective effort. They're going to have to do a lot of gang tackling.
And you see that they can come up with a gang tackle when they need to do it. There's another fellow who might figure to be very prominent in today's game, particularly if it is close, and these games have been close in the past. His name is Obed Ariri. We'll be back to take a look at him in just a minute.
An important message from Presto. More and more of today's cars, K-cars, X-bodies, most imports, have lightweight aluminum parts in their cooling systems. These vital engine parts need aluminum antifreeze protection. Put in Prestone 2, and you've got it. Prestone has a patented silicone silicate formula that forms a tough protective barrier to lock out rust and aluminum corrosion. For aluminum, for all metals, Prestone 2. No wonder we're number 1.
Imagine a hot ball of light that you've got to get rid of. It gets passed to you faster and faster. That's the thrill of strobe. Strobe, the frantic new electronic action game. As the hot ball of light gets passed to you, press the button fast to get rid of it.
Can you take the pressure?
Make one bad pass and... Strobe, the fast action hot ball of light game from Lakeside.
Clemson really has an outstanding place kicker. You got a glimpse of him just a moment ago. Obed Oriri. He's from Owerri, Nigeria. Oriri from Owerri. And he is just, with one more field goal, going to be the new NCAA record holder.
Well, he and Tony Franklin both have 56 field goals, so the next time he kicks a field goal, he will become the career leader among NCAA field goal kickers, and it could very well happen today. He kicked 4 field goals in the ball game last year against the Tar Heels, and he is the guy that could make a difference. And yesterday, I had a chance to talk to him about the pressure of a possible record.
No, it has not created any pressure on me. I didn't even think about the
breaking or tying the record. I just had in mind that I was going to go out and do a good job, and that's what I'm doing right now.
So what's the most important thing?
The most important thing is just to concentrate and try to make all the field goals that I can, and then forget about breaking a record or creating a new record.
Very shortly, you may find yourself in the position where you're going to have to choose between professional football and soccer. What would be your choice, or could you do both?
Well, right now, it's just the position because I don't know if I'm going to be drafted in the NFL, but already I have a new contract from Chicago's team, and I'm thinking about it. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'll find out. I think I'll make the right decision on what to do.
He's an interesting young man, isn't he?
Obed O'Reilly is a great one. I saw him kick a bunch of them last year, and he can hit them as far as 57 yards out, and someone that could definitely be the difference in the ball game today.
Okay, that's the story, the look at the two teams. So now be sure to stay tuned with this big ACC matchup between the Tar Heels of North Carolina and the Tigers of Clemson. We'll be back.
Tuesday, why is the great lover Fonz trying to break up Joni and Chachi's romance? Find out on the season premiere of Happy Days. Then will Carmine turn green with envy when he sees Shirley's new date? A hilarious encounter on Laverne and Shirley, Tuesday on ABC.
Never again will savings be so great on brand new Hondas and BMWs. It's Crown Honda's giant closeout sale. It's your last chance for the biggest discounts of the year on Crown's huge selection of 1980 Hondas. Super gas-saving Civics, luxurious fuel-efficient Accords, and sporty fun-to-drive Preludes. Even Crown's full line of BMWs is discounted. Beat the 81 price increase and get extra high trade-in allowances, plus giant closeout savings at Crown Pontiac Honda, Greensboro. It's now or never.
This is Lowe's, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
But you've got TVs and stereos. Are you sure this is Lowe's?
I'm sure. We're not just a lumber store. We're everything for your house, like insulation. This 6-inch unfaced attic insulation is just 20 cents a square foot. And storm windows, $14.99 for sizes that fit most standard windows.
You've got everything. Carpet, wallpaper, go-karts.
There's more to Lowe's than ever before. Come see. We're serious about being your household word.
Space Station 12, this is ground control. There seems to be a weight variance of plus 3 pounds in the main cabin. Please confirm, over.
This is Space Station 12. Cannot confirm weight variance.
Breaking for chow now, over. Gentlemen, this is our steak. This is our salad. And this is our weight variance.
All right, Stroh's.
Captain, now I know why you're captain.
WGHP TV8, High Point, Greensboro, Winston-Salem.
Today from Clemson Memorial Stadium, Clemson, South Carolina, ABC Sports presents NCAA College Football. Today, the Tar Heels of North Carolina go against the Tigers of Clemson. And this ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Chevrolet and your Chevy dealer. With Chevette, Monza Citation, and the new Monte Carlo, Chevy's up ahead for 1981. By Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. By the makers of the dandruff shampoo, clinically proven for really effective dandruff control, Selsun Blue. And by STP, STP gas treatment and STP oil treatment. The orange is very much in evidence, as are the tiger paws, which are all over Clemson, South Carolina. And some 63,000 fans are all over Clemson Memorial Stadium rooting on their Tigers as they go against the 7-1 North Carolina Tar Heels in this matchup of Atlantic Coast Conference rivals. North Carolina 7-1 on the year, Clemson 5-3. Clemson needing a win today, and here they come, coached by Danny Ford in his second year at the helm with a record here of 14-7. As you see, they are 5-3 overall, 2-2 in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and they are trailing both Maryland and North Carolina in the conference standings. They need a win here today in order to have any shot at an ACC title in 1980. Again, everybody. everybody. I'm Steve Zabriskie, and welcome to this big doubleheader day of NCAA football here on ABC as the North Carolina Tar Heels now come on to the field. They are coached by Dick Crum in his third season with a record there of 20-10-1. And as we mentioned, they're 3-0, undefeated in the Atlantic Coast Conference and sitting right on top. They were rolling along until they met Oklahoma last week. Working as our expert commentator, the former All-American at the University of Utah, Lee Grosscup. And Lee, North Carolina really has to be considered the favorite going into the game. So what is Clemson going to have to do for a chance at an upset and a possible ACC title with a win here today?
Well, you know, we talked to Danny Ford yesterday. It was kind of like he gave us his back-to-basics speech. He feels that everything is going to be basic. They have to shut down the inside running game first. That means take away the fullback, Billy Johnson, then take responsibility for the tailbacks. As far as what he wants to do offensively, he'd like to establish a running game of his own and then go for those high percentage passes. So don't look for anything too fancy from Clemson. They're going to concentrate on execution.
All right, we'll be back to kick it off as Clemson hosts North Carolina as our doubleheader begins in just a minute.
You can feel us coming now, a fresh look on the scene, with a whole new style of living, light and crisp and clean.
That's why now we say the age of 7-Up is here, because we love that crisp, refreshing taste, so light and crystal clear. Move it up, look it up.
Good, huh?
Wow, we got the generator! Now that's just my dad.
If you're ready to move up to a middleweight, Poland just built your saw.
It's a what? It's a pull-in 3400.
With a powerful, easy-starting engine, solid-state ignition, an incredible anti-vibration system, and more.
A pull-in 3400, huh?
You mean a Poland 3400?
So, for a middleweight that'll do more jobs more smoothly, go to your Poland dealer and say...
I'd like to see the the 3400, please.
See Poland in the yellow pages under saws.
STP, a big name in racing for nearly 20 years. STP oil treatment on the track in some of the world's most expensive engines. Around the track, around the world, every day, tens of thousands of people get STP oil treatment. Get it for your car. Satisfaction guaranteed. Around the track, around the world, STP oil treatment is #1.
Steve Zabriskie along with Lee Grosscup welcoming you back to Clemson Memorial Stadium and what they call Frank Howard Field. The field itself named for one of the great coaches here at Clemson, Frank Howard.
They also call it Death Valley.
They certainly do, and North Carolina must feel that way today. As you look at number 7, Jeff Hayes will be kicking off. Clemson has won the toss. They have elected to receive. North Carolina has elected to defend the goal to our left, which is in fact the west goal here, this being one of the few fields that runs east and west rather than north and south. 70 degrees here at game time, a perfect afternoon, a capacity crowd on hand, the wind out of the southwest at about 12 miles per hour. That means that Hayes will have it a bit at his back as he gets ready to kick off, and the crowd comes to its feet with tiger paws flashing everywhere. Number 9, Andy Hedden, and number 28, Rod McSwain, are back deep to receive for Clemson, both standing near the goal line as Hayes gets set to kick it off. Hayes, a junior from Elkin, North Carolina. As you look at Andy Hedden and what he has done returning kickoffs in 1980, he along with McSwain are the 2 deep receivers. Hayes hits it, and it bounds short of the goal line and goes through the end zone for a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line as we look at Homer Jordan, the starting quarterback, a sophomore. The tailback, Chuck McSwain, also a sophomore, number 35. Number 32, the fullback, is also a sophomore, Jeff McCall. 41, Jerry Gilliard, the wide receiver, a junior. Perry Tuttle, a great flanker, also a junior, number 22. The tight end, Ricky Gray, is a freshman, number 81. 1st and 10. Clemson Tigers at their own 20-yard line. The first play of the game as we are just underway. On the option, perhaps a broken play as McSwain gets the ball in the backfield and does not go very far at all. A loss on the first carry as we'll now take a look at the offensive line of the Clemson Tigers. The North Carolina defense very much in evidence. Lee Nanny perhaps their best at left tackle, number 77, a junior. 74, Bob Mayberry is the left guard. The center, 63, Tony Berryhill. At right guard, number 70, Brian Clark, a junior. And number 68, Gary Brown, is the right tackle, a sophomore. On second down, 12.5 yards to go. Jordan to pass. Looks for Tuttle and has him at the 25, and Tuttle is tackled immediately just at the 25-yard line. Coming up to make the hit, Greg Poole, number 32, the sophomore defensive back from China Grove, North Carolina. Now for the defense of North Carolina, which has been a good one, with Daniels, Thompson, Davis, Standback, and Taylor up front. Those outside linebackers playing a stand-up defensive end. The inside linebackers of Nicholson and Schaffer, Poole, Streeter, Jackson, and Bratton. A pretty good secondary. McCall and McSwain in the backfield in the I formation behind Homer Jordan on third down and 5 yards to go from the 25 of Clemson. McCall, the fullback, gets 2 to the 27-yard line, and that's all. It'll be fourth down and about 3 yards to go. Number 34, Paul Davis, the nose guard, on the tackle for North Carolina.
That first catch by Perry Tuttle, by the way, moved him into fourth place, into a fourth-place tie with Glenn Smith on Clemson's all-time receiving list. So we talked about him during the pregame show, and some of the records that he is closing in on. We'll keep you posted on that. Perry Tuttle, number 22.
Headley is in to punt, number 16, Rich Headley. Greg Poole back deep to receive, and Headley gets off a high one. Poole fumbles it at the 31. Struggles forward to about the 34-yard line as he picked up the football and got about 3 yards on the return. Poole returning it out to the 31, and North Carolina will go on offense. A punt of 43 yards. Here's Rod Elkins, their fine sophomore quarterback, who will be in the backfield along with famous Amos Lawrence, number 20, the senior tailback. Big Billy Johnson, 250-pound senior, is the fullback. Victor Harrison at wide receiver is a sophomore. John Richardson, number 19, the split end, is a junior. Shelton Robinson at tight end, number 80, along with number 88, Mike Chatham, a senior. They alternate. First and 10 Tar Heels at their own 34. Lawrence trying to get to the outside. Amos falls forward to the 40-yard line for a gain of about 6 yards. It'll be second down and 4. He was tripped up by Jeff Bryant, number 99, the junior from Atlanta, Georgia. Here's the offensive line. David Drexler will be at left tackle. Ron Wooten, a great one, will be at left guard, number 78. Rick Donnelly, the center, also a good pro prospect, number 51. Ron Spruill will be the right guard, number 68. Mike Marr, a junior, number 56, is the other tackle. On second down and 4. Lawrence goes straight ahead. Jeff Davis, number 45, makes the tackle as Lawrence picks up only about 2 yards is all. As you look at that Clemson defense with Bryant, Benish, Robinson, Durham, and Smith along the front 5 in their 50 look. Rose and Davis, 2 very active and good linebackers. Geller, Hall, Underwood, and Terry Gennard, the free safety, a very good one in the secondary. It is third down and 1 yard to go for North Carolina at their own 43. Billy Johnson banging ahead and picking up much more than the needed first down yardage as he gets it out to the 48-yard line of Clemson, or rather North Carolina, for a Tar Heel first down. Chuck Rose, number 33, the right side linebacker, tripped him up. It'll be first and 10 Tar Heels at their own 48.
That is what we spoke of at the top of the show. Billy Big Hoss Johnson, the man who is really one of the bigger fullbacks in the country. And Danny Ford felt yesterday when he spoke to us that he would have to close off the inside running game and particularly shut down Johnson.
On first and 10, North Carolina at their own 48, out of a wing formation. Amos Lawrence with a nice hole. Lawrence breaking into Clemson territory inside the 40 and down near the 36 of Clemson. Jeff Davis, number 45, making the tackle. As you look at Lawrence's impressive statistics so far in 1980. As we mentioned, Amos with a shot to become only the second player ever to go for 1,000 yards all 4 years. A gain of 16 yards by famous Amos.
Clever ball handling that time as they fake to the fullback first. Here we get a look at it. It's a little misdirection or count crossfire action in the backfield, which sets it up for famous Amos Lawrence.
First and 10. Carolina at the Clemson 36. Billy Johnson. Powell straight ahead, picking up perhaps 3 yards as he gets inside the 35. They'll mark it at the 33-yard line for a gain of 3. Again, Chuck Rose, the senior from Atlanta, made the tackle for Clemson's defense. Number 33, you see him there. And apparently there is a little bit of an injury suffered by him. As one of the Clemson players is being attended to in the secondary. Looks like Eddie Gathers, number 49, has a problem with his left knee.
that would be a loss.
It really would. Gathers a fine defensive back, senior from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Did you see Danny Ford on the sideline?
One of the youngest coaches in major college football out of the Bear Bryant School of Coaches.
Gathers being attended to by the training staff of Clemson. We have 11 minutes and 1 second left to go in the first quarter, and we have no score as yet. We'll return to what they call Death Valley here in Clemson, South Carolina in just a minute.
Excuse me. I'm not the same crazy coach who used to storm around the sidelines yelling at the officials. I've learned to relax, and I drank light beer from Miller. Do you know that light's got a third less calories than a regular beer? And listen to this. Light doesn't fill me up. Besides that, light tastes fantastic. Oh, sure, there are a lot of other beers around, and you can drink any one you want. But let me tell you this.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
As I was saying, I don't care what anybody else...
Mr. Goodwrench, can I get an oil change, filter, and lube job in a hurry?
Sure. I'll do it while you wait.
Mr. Goodwrench knows you don't have time to waste, so he can offer while you wait service on many popular jobs. And he has the special GM tools, GM training, and genuine GM parts available to back it up.
All done? That was fast.
Well, time is money, Sam.
Keep that great GM feeling.
Where Mr. Goodwrench works.
With genuine GM parts.
Eddie Gathers went off under his own power. We hope to have a report on the extent of his injury for you shortly. Meanwhile, it is second down, 7 yards to go for North Carolina. Lawrence on the sprint draw. Lawrence breaks the tackle and drives inside the 30, stopped at the 28-yard line. Famous Amos picking up almost enough for a first down. They'll be 3 yards short.
This is the favorite play of tailback Famous Amos Lawrence. Now watch it. Elkins, the quarterback, starts back. It's the sprint draw. Slips it to his tailback, and there you see some of the acceleration that has made him one of the finest running backs in NCAA history.
Third down and about 3.5 yards to go from where they mark it. North Carolina inside the 30-yard line of Clemson. The pitch to Lawrence. Amos fumbles the football. The officials unpile them, and it appears as if North Carolina recovered. They did. First down, North Carolina, as Amos fumbled the ball forward to the 35-yard line. North Carolina came up with it. Number 54, David Drexler.
A pitch out as we look at it once again, and there is the hit that sets up the fumble, and it turns out to be a fortunate fumble for North Carolina as they turn it into about a 3-yard gain.
It is a first down, but another Clemson player is injured, and there you see him being attended to also.
Who got that first hit on Famous Amos?
I think it was Chuck Rose, number 33. This is Willie Underwood, however, number 20, who's being attended to.
Another man who is noted for hard hits, Willie Underwood.
It looked like there you see Gathers on the sideline. He has a bruised left knee, is the report that we have. Hopefully it's nothing more serious than that, and he looks to be doing all right. So we should see Gathers back in the game. Meanwhile, Underwood is being attended to as you look at the turnover situation in 1980 for these two teams.
North Carolina has the better of that.
That's
by
for
far.
Sure. Underwood coming off. The strong safety, a senior from Fort Payne, Alabama. But it is a first down for North Carolina at the Clemson 25. Following the fortunate fumble recovery by David Drexler, a sophomore tackle from Cleveland, North Carolina. First and 10 Tar Heels. Lawrence getting a couple of tough yards to the outside to about the 23-yard line is all. Number 45, Jeff Davis, a fine linebacker. Number 29, Hollis Hall, up from the secondary, combined to make the tackle on Amos Lawrence. And there is Underwood, who appears to have perhaps a shoulder problem, being attended to. Second down and 7 yards to go after the gain of 3 by Lawrence as they mark it near the 22-yard line of Clemson. Lawrence again breaks it up the middle and inside the 10, inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. Hollis Hall, number 29, had to trip him up in the secondary as Famous Amos broke one of his specialties.
Not surprisingly, watch him go right over the left guard. Ron Wooten, number 78, and the lead block by the fullback, Billy Big Hoss Johnson, sets it up. And there goes one of the great runners in NCAA history. Of course, Famous Amos Lawrence.
Famous Amos now with 55 yards on 7 carries from the goal line. Touchdown. Lawrence takes it in. On first and goal from the 3-yard line, Amos Lawrence scores on the first play to give North Carolina a 6-0 lead here in the first quarter.
And if my memory holds correct, he already has more yards in this game than he got in the entire ball game last year against Clemson. They really did a good job of shutting him down, and that coupled with 4 Obed-Ariri field goals is what gave them the margin of victory, 19-10.
He already has 58 yards and 1 touchdown. As you see him on the sideline, Jeff Hayes, the junior from Elkin, North Carolina, is in to attempt the extra point. Richardson, number 19, the wide receiver, is the holder. Almost blocked, but he got it away, and it's good. 9 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter. North Carolina on a 3-yard run by Amos Lawrence has taken a 7-0 lead.
Introducing the new 1981 Monte Carlo. Virtually every inch reshaped, every line resculpted with economical V6 power. A new Monte Carlo. And you'll choose it because you're proud of who you are.
You and Monte Carlo.
A matter of personal pride, 1981 Monte Carlo from Chevrolet.
You are about to experience the sounds and excitement of drag racing with Kenner's new electronic drag racing game, Redline. Redline puts you in the driver's seat. You change the gears. You hear the rubber burn. You hear the scream of revs as you step on the gas. It takes split-second timing and skill or blown engine. Redline gives you readouts of RPMs, elapsed time, and miles per hour.
248 miles per hour.
Redline, the sounds and thrills of drag racing. Drive one.
Friday, December 5th at 8 Eastern, your favorite television stars come out fighting in a 2-hour special. It's an all-new Battle of the Network Stars, December 5th on ABC.
This is an interesting call here from the I formation, Z, because we see a variation of the old belly play to the tailback. First the fake to the fullback, the give to Famous Amos Lawrence. A 66-yard drive in 10 plays, all rushing. Famous Amos now 8 carries, 58 yards.
And Hayes just kicked it clear into the stands, or not really the stands, but the grassy bank here at the east end of the field where folks put the blankets out as you look at a most impressive scoring drive on the first possession for North Carolina.
Probably more important than the numbers is the fact that this is what Clemson was worried about. They wanted to shut down the inside running game. North Carolina did it with all runs, all of it basically tackle to tackle.
Homer Jordan, the sophomore from Athens, Georgia, leads them up 1st and 10. Clemson from their own 20-yard line. Barry Tuttle in motion. Jordan going to run it, slides down at the line of scrimmage. May have gained a yard to the 21 is all, as he was covered by 93 Calvin Daniels, their fine junior outside linebacker from Goldsboro, North Carolina. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
There are the numbers on Homer Jordan, and they are impressive. As we mentioned earlier, he is ahead now in terms of total offense of where Steve Fuller was at this stage in his career, where Fuller was as a sophomore. And of course, Fuller went on to set most of the total offense records for Clemson.
2nd down and 9.5 yards to go. McCall, the lone setback behind Jordan as he pitches to McSwain coming this way. McSwain cuts it up and gets maybe 2 yards, is all, 1.5 yards to the 22-yard line. Bill Jackson, number 28, the junior defensive back, and Paul Davis, number 34, combined to make the tackle for that North Carolina defense.
We asked Danny Ford yesterday about the tailback position. He said, just fair. You know, they lost Lester Brown. That was one of the guys who was one of their mainstays last year, along with Marvin Sims and Billy Lott. Those are the others.
They have an all-sophomore backfield with McCall, McSwain, and Jordan in there. All 3 of them sophomores. 3rd down, 8 yards to go. Clemson at their own 22. On the counter option, McSwain driving to the 25, and that's all for a pickup of 3 yards. He gets just across the 25 before he's blasted out of bounds. Number 17, Darrell Lucas, a freshman from Selma, North Carolina, and 49, Lee Schaffer, make the hit on McSwain. It'll be 4th down and 4.5 yards to go. Clemson will have to punt it away once again. Rich Hendley into punt, averaging over 40 points, or 40 yards rather, per punt. Greg Poole, number 32, is dropped back deep. Poole standing at about his own 35 as Headley hangs it up there high. He does not call for a fair catch, and Clemson may have recovered the football. Jeff McCall, number 32, may have recovered that fumble.
Greg Poole is going to learn a lesson about fair catches when he watches this on film. All you have to do is raise your right hand and say, "Don't touch me."
Danny Triplett came up with the recovery, number 82. It looked like it might have been McCall who made the hit. A punt of 39 yards, and by not calling for the fair catch and a great hit by McCall, Clemson comes up with a big break.
Those are the kind of hits you remember the next day.
Danny Triplett, a sophomore from Boone, North Carolina, coming up with the fumble recovery at the 33-yard line of North Carolina. Clemson with the first big break of the afternoon.
Excellent field position now for the Tigers, and let's see what Homer Jordan comes up with. Of course, his plays are sent in via messenger from the sideline. But with this type of a break, sometimes it's opportunistic to come up with your best play on first down.
Greg Poole obviously shaken up on that play, and just now leaving the field under his own power after being attended to on the near sideline. Clemson,
he took a lick.
He really did. Clemson down there with excellent punt coverage, and Hendley did a great job of hanging that ball up a long time. 7:39 to go in the first quarter. Clemson trailing 7-0, but with an opportunity here. The first time they've been in North Carolina territory with a 1st and 10 at the Tar Heel 33.
Made that hit on Boone. Fumble recovery by Dick Bowman.
Yeah. They say Triplett made the hit and Bowman made the fumble recovery. Sometimes with those jerseys that they pull over their uniforms on punt teams, it's hard to tell who's who out there.
It's confusing.
Nonetheless, Clemson with the first big break of the game, the first turnover. North Carolina fumbled the ball one time earlier, but it was recovered by North Carolina. Drexler coming up with the Amos Lawrence fumble.
Hendley really did hang one up there. 40.2-yard average. Of course, he's taking over for a great one in David Sims, who had a 46.5-yard average.
Edgar Pickett is in at fullback, number 34. And it is Pickett who has the ball. Pickett driving straight ahead and inside the 30-yard line. Bob Mayberry, number 74, clearing the way for Edgar Pickett, who you see there. Pickett, a freshman out of Lexington, North Carolina. It's a gain of 5 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
I think that last fumble, as you mentioned, was caused by Triplett, but it was recovered by Charlie Bauman. That's Woody Hayes' favorite nose guard.
On 2nd down and 5, Clemson from the 28-yard line of North Carolina. On the option, McSwain has an opening inside the 15-yard line. Tyrus Bratton, number 3, had to make the tackle in the secondary as McSwain and Jordan corroborate on the option.
Timing is always the key to the option play. There is part 1 of the triple option, the fake to the fullback, a perfect read on the corner by Homer Jordan, and the pitch right on schedule to number 35, Chuck McSwain.
It's a gain of 14 yards and a first down at the 14-yard line of North Carolina. Clemson mounting their first scoring threat of the day. Pickett straight ahead. Near the 11-yard line. Number 76, Donnell Thompson, fine senior from Lumberton, North Carolina. And number 29, Darrell Nicholson, junior linebacker, make the tackle as you look at Clemson coach Danny Ford.
One of Bears' boys. That was the first down of the day for the Tigers, and they are knocking at the door.
Inside the 11-yard line. 2nd down, 6 yards to go. On the option again. It's McSwain. McSwain driving inside the 5 and has a first down. Tyrus Bratton, number 3, had to run him out of bounds again, along with 49 Lee Schaffer, but McSwain has a first and goal inside the 4-yard line.
That's the kind of enthusiasm that Coach Danny Ford was hoping he would get out of tailback Chuck McSwain. Once again, the play they ran a moment ago. The triple option out of the I formation, the read on the corner, the pitch right on schedule to number 35, Chuck McSwain. There is the extra effort, the leg drive and the acceleration, so important.
McSwain now has carried 5 times for 24 yards, as you see his season statistics for 1980. Power I formation in the backfield. Jordan looking into the end zone. Touchdown!
No, he dropped it.
He did drop it. Ricky Gray, the freshman tight end, had it in his hands and dropped it. It'll be second down and goal from the 4-yard line as McSwain gets a new jersey and comes back onto the field.
That was almost too easy. That ball was thrown soft and right on the money. Here's the play action pass and then a bootleg to the left. Ricky Gray all alone, the tight end in the end zone, hit him in a bad place.
Brendan Cricht, number 38, is also into the game as they use the power I formation with McSwain out of the tailback. Jordan cutting it up inside and getting inside the 2-yard line. Homer Jordan to about the 1.5. It'll be third down and goal. 28, Bill Jackson making the stop.
Their best short yardage play has been the power I, double tight end, and give the ball to the tailback. Sometimes, of course, you will see a play action pass. So I would look for either the blast play off tackle to the tailback or some type of play action pass.
Third and goal from the 1.5-yard line. North Carolina leading 7-0. Clemson threatening. Jordan on the option. The pitch goes awry. Outside the 10-yard line. North Carolina has recovered. North Carolina at the 15-yard line of Clemson. Donnell Thompson making the big defensive play, number 76.
Watch Donnell Thompson, one of the premier defensive tackles in America. Number 76, what a hit he gets on the quarterback. He's 6'5", 260 pounds, and he will hit you.
North Carolina repels the Clemson scoring drive. 5:05 left in the first quarter. We'll be back.
I used to run through airports. Now I fly through them. With new Hertz #1 Express service, I fly nonstop from my plane to my car without stopping at the counter. If you ask for #1 Express when you make your reservation, your Ford or other fine car and contract will be waiting at the #1 Express booth. Once again, Hertz puts you in the driver's seat faster than anybody else.
Sony introduces the art of watching television. The Sony Betamax lets you record and see what you want when you want, to summon into your home a world of wonder. And a remarkable feature called Beta Scan lets you scan forward and reverse to quickly find any single image. Betamax transforms the act of watching television into the art of watching television.
Your show is about to begin.
Sony, the one and only.
America's taxpayers are demanding accountability in public institutions. Nowhere is accountability more evident than in high school activities, which involve half the students of most schools at less than 1% of the school budget. That's the best bargain in education.
Both teams have come up with big breaks on turnovers. Clemson, however, could not capitalize as they turn it back over on the fumble. 1st and 10, North Carolina at their own 15. Kelvin Bryant in a tailback, and Bryant takes it straight ahead for about 3 yards. Out to near the 18-yard line of North Carolina. It'll be 2nd down and 7. 71, Dan Benish, a sophomore from Hubbard, Ohio, made the tackle on Kelvin Bryant.
That was such a big play for North Carolina. When you look back over the whole ball game, you think sometimes maybe that might be the turning point of the football game.
There's a total offense comparison of these two teams. 2nd down and 7 for Carolina. Again, it's Kelvin Bryant. Breaks one tackle at the line of scrimmage and gets ahead near the 1st down yardage. He needs to get to near the 25. They'll mark it inside the 24. It'll be third down. Number 43, Terry Kennard on the tackle.
Made by Terry Kennard.
Kelvin Bryant, who we spoke about in our pregame show, is a tailback with unlimited potential. He's 6'2", 185 pounds, a sophomore with 9.3 speed in the 100-yard dash.
Third down, 1 yard to go. Bryant again breaks it up the middle and gets out to the 32-yard line, much more than the needed first down yardage, as he gains 8 yards before number 33, Chuck Rose, can make the tackle. Kelvin Bryant averaging over 5 yards a pop this year.
He ran the 100, the 220, and also participated in the long jump, also lettered in basketball. He is just a superior athlete with great leg drive and acceleration.
He's carried 3 times now for 17 yards today. Bryant, a sophomore from Tarboro, North Carolina. Penalty marker goes down as the play gets underway.
That is clearly a false start.
Yes, number 56, Mike Marr, appeared to jump a little bit too early. Illegal procedure, as you see there. Referee Rob Carpenter marking off the infraction. As you look at today's officials, it'll be 5 yards back inside the 30-yard line. The illegal procedure will make it first down and 15 yards to go as they mark it at the 27. And North Carolina has not thrown a pass yet, Cupper.
They have not needed to.
No,
they have been able to establish the inside game both with their fullback and their tailback, and they are alternating tailbacks as we thought they might.
Kelvin Bryant again, the ball carrier, runs into trouble in the backfield. Number 66, Steve Durham, the defensive tackle, a senior out of Greer, South Carolina. And number 84, Bill Smith, combined with good penetration right through the line to get Bryant in the backfield. And it's a loss of about a yard on the play.
But now we have what would be an obvious passing situation as we look again, and you see the strength of that Clemson defense and some of the gang tackling that we spoke about earlier. Clemson into this game number 1 in the ACC in rushing defense.
Bryant again straight ahead on third down and 15 yards to go, and he gets just about 3 yards to the 30-yard line. Or excuse me, second down and 15 yards to go. Jeff Davis, 45 on the tackle.
Well, I spoke of an obvious passing situation as we look at some of the numbers on Kelvin Bryant. This, I would say, would be the first distinct passing situation of the game for quarterback Rod Elkins. And we will see if he decides to go deep. There was some talk that they would throw deep more in this game than has been their tendency.
Richardson comes in motion on third down and 12. Elkins will sprint out and does complete the pass to number 9, Victor Harrison. And Harrison has what appears to be enough for a first down at the 44-yard line of North Carolina. Terry Kennard, number 43, the sophomore from Sumter, South Carolina, made the tackle on Victor Harrison, who picks up the first down.
This is a great call and a great route, and it is just the right play to run on third and long yardage because Harrison, from his slot position, runs a deep hook pattern, gets just enough yardage to cover the first down, and then does not retreat. He falls forward for the first down yardage.
There you see the time remaining in the first quarter. Gain of 14. Bryant straight ahead. Bryant picks up about 3 as he gets it out to the 47-yard line. Number 33, Chuck Rose, again on the tackle, along with 75, James Robinson, a sophomore from Charleston.
And so the first pass by quarterback Rod Elkins turns out to be a good one. He came into today's game leading the ACC in passing efficiency.
Give Bryant a gain of 4. It's second down and 6 yards to go. The ball at the 48-yard line of North Carolina. Bryant again breaks through a good hole and is upended in the secondary as he gets inside Clemson territory to the Tiger 46. Terry Kennard, the free safety, coming up with a great tackle. Will be 1 yard short of a first down.
Such a healthy situation at that tailback position as number 44, Kelvin Bryant, backing up famous Amos Lawrence, goes off left tackle on the blast or isolation play. A healthy situation at that tailback position as number 44, Kelvin Bryant, backing up famous Amos Lawrence, goes off left tackle on the blast or isolation play. Once again, the great lead block by that big fullback, Billy Johnson.
Third down and 1. And there's Big Billy. Big Billy is close to the needed first down yardage, and I believe they will mark it right at the 45. It will be a first down for North Carolina. Jeff Davis, 45, on the stop, and he had to get some help because I doubt he could do it alone.
We were talking about this yesterday. You mentioned that when you have a fullback that big, that in every short yardage situation, you can figure that he's probably going to come through for you.
He weighs 250 pounds, 6'1", from Buckingham, Virginia, Billy Johnson. That's the 7th first down for North Carolina. 6 of them have come on running plays. Amos Lawrence back in at tailback, and Lawrence has the football. Lawrence picks up about 4 as he gets to the 41.
There we nearly saw one of his patented full spinners. He is noted for his 360-degree spin.
Famous Amos, a senior from Norfolk, Virginia. And what a great career he has had. He's having a pretty good first quarter, I'll tell you, with 62 yards. As we come near the end, this should be, if they get it off, the last play of the first quarter. 2nd down. 6 yards to go. Lawrence again, looking for a hole and getting inside the 40. They'll mark it at about the 37-yard line of Clemson. Number 66, Steve Durham, and number 45, Jeff Davis, combined for the stop as the first quarter comes to an end. We'll return to Death Valley, Clemson Memorial Stadium, in just a minute, with North Carolina leading the Clemson Tigers 7-0.
Goodyear adds something extra to radials, all-season performance. So radials like Arriva are built for sun, for rain, for snow. Arriva is a high-mileage, fuel-efficient, steel-belted radial. Even its footprint tells you it's different. So why buy a conventional radial when you can step up to Goodyear's newest all-season radial? Goodyear, quality and innovation.
You're looking at the best dandruff shampoo money can buy, because it's been clinically proven best. Testing at a major medical school proved it works faster, gives more complete dandruff control than any leading dandruff shampoo. It's Selsun Blue, the only leading shampoo with the anti-dandruff ingredient doctors prescribe most. No other brand has it. Try Selsun Blue. It simply works best.
We want to make you smile.
Welcome back. I see you brought a friend.
My boss hasn't smiled the whole trip. I'm back.
I think you'll like our beds.
Make you smile.
Big room.
Everything all right?
Just fine. Call me for dinner. In an hour.
We made him smile.
Come to Holiday Inn where your smile sits. We're number one people pleasing.
Steve Zabriskie along with Lee Grosscup welcoming you back to Clemson, South Carolina as we start the second quarter. It'll be 3rd down and 2 yards to go for North Carolina. They are at the 37 of Clemson. Kelvin Bryant fighting for first down yardage inside the 35. He has enough for the first down as they spotted at the 34 of Clemson. Number 43, Terry Kennard, coming up from the secondary along with Willie Underwood, number 20.
Once again behind the surge of that North Carolina offensive line, the team that came in as the top rushing team in the ACC, and because mostly 2 tailbacks, they have gotten over 1,300 yards out of their tailback position. That between number 20, Famous Amos Lawrence, and this man, number 44, Kelvin Bryant. Super all-around athlete, and he's only a sophomore.
Bryant a little bigger than Lawrence at 6'2" and 190. 1st and 10, North Carolina. Bryant again, getting near the 30-yard line of Clemson. They'll mark it at the 31 for a gain of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Jeff Bryant, number 99, in the stop, along with Jeff Harris, number 45, and James Robinson, number 75. Here are the first quarter statistics.
And as you look at those stats, I think the obvious thing that jumps out at you are the rushing yardage by North Carolina. They really dominated in the rushing department, and they were able to keep the ball 8 minutes and 55 seconds.
Number 10, Rod Elkins, a fine sophomore quarterback out of Greensboro, North Carolina, on 2nd down, 7 from the Clemson 31. Bryant trying to get to the outside, gets to the 30 and is rammed out of bounds at about the 29-yard line. Number 43, Terry Kennard, again making the tackle, along with 99, Jeff Bryant.
Motion right that time, and what USC refers to as student body right. They get a whole bunch of people out in front of the tailback.
Bryant now has carried 10 times for 66 yards.
Well, that number
Lawrence
says
has
37.
Lawrence has carried 10 times for 66 yards. Bryant has carried 10 times for 37
yards. All right.
At the 29-yard line of Clemson, North Carolina will have 3rd down and 4 yards to go. 13 13:43 remaining in the second quarter. North Carolina leading 7-0. Elkins sprinting out, looking, throwing, and completes it to Richardson, number 19 at the 20-yard line. Richardson with a great diving catch, coming up with the reception inside the 20-yard line. Willie Underwood was there, but could do nothing about it.
This is a remarkable pass and a remarkable catch as John Richardson, number 19, the second leading receiver on the team, starts in motion back toward the quarterback, comes out here, takes an outside release, runs his sideline cut, and then makes a diving, sprawling catch along the sideline. The ball was thrown on the dead run to his left by the quarterback, Rod Elkins.
On 1st and 10. Kelvin Bryant going inside the 20-yard line near the 17. They'll mark it at about the 18. It'll be a gain of 2. Charlie Bauman, number 58, the senior from Runnymede, New Jersey, making the tackle.
Charlie Bauman does not want to be remembered as the man that took the punch from Woody Hayes. Unfortunately, that's the way he has been labeled. He has been a consistent football player for the last 4 years.
Amos Lawrence back in at tailback for North Carolina on 2nd down and 8. Lawrence cutting it up inside and getting inside the 15-yard line as North Carolina continues to pound away on the ground at the Clemson defense. It'll be a gain of about 4 yards on the play.
Most of that yardage that Steve Zabriskie just spoke of has been tackle to tackle. Here again you see a little counter blast play with the tailback going off the right side. I think if there's any one area where North Carolina would dominate this football game, it would be in the offensive line.
Lawrence, as you see, going out, and Kelvin Bryant coming into the game on 3rd down and 4 yards to go. North Carolina 7 of 7 on 3rd down conversions so far today. Elkins running the option to Bryant. Bryant inside the 10 has the 1st down. Still fighting for yardage as he gets near the 7-yard line of Clemson.
As well as being extremely fast, 9.3 speed in the 100-yard dash, you see that Kelvin Bryant is quite strong. Now watch, motion goes to the right. Counter option coming back to the right. There's the pitch. Bryant makes his cut right here. And upfield he goes, and that's the kind of running that the pro scouts would be very impressed with. They normally call it north and south running, but in this stadium you wouldn't, that would not apply.
That's right, this is one of the few East and West stadiums. There you see Bryant going out, and now a timeout has been called by Clemson. We have 11:59 remaining in the second quarter. We'll be back in just a minute.
MCs love RVs, CBs love RVs, UFOs love RVs. You and I love America's roast beef, yes sir. GIs love RVs, ESPs love RVs. You and I love roast beef at Arby's. You and I love roast beef at Arby's. Nutritious, delicious, America's roast beef, yes sir.
General Motors introduces Computer Command Control, a new system that uses this onboard computer to help achieve the highest corporate average fuel economy in GM history, while reducing exhaust emissions to the lowest in GM history. From now on, you'll activate this computer when you step on the gas. Computer Command Control on all standard and most optional gasoline engines from Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, and Cadillac.
Next Saturday, see the all-time NCAA passing leader Mark Herman lead Purdue against Michigan. Then it's the big one. Number 1 ranked Notre Dame tackles Alabama. The national doubleheader starts at noon Eastern live on ABC.
There you see the reason for the timeout. Terry Kennard, fine defensive back of Clemson, injured on the play and still down and being attended to inside the 15-yard line as he was involved on that play. The run, as you look at Dick Crum, the North Carolina coach in his 3rd season at the helm.
What a job he did at Miami of Ohio. They call that the cradle of coaches. There have been a few good ones come out of that school.
Ara Parsegan for one.
John Pont for another. Woody Hayes for another.
That's right.
Bill Mallory for another. Bo Schembechler.
And the Clemson sideline with the head coach Danny Ford in the orange sweater. And reminder, as you just may have seen earlier, our doubleheader. And those of you watching this game will see either USC against Stanford or Virginia Tech against Florida State, depending on where it is that you live in our region. A big doubleheader today here on ABC's NCAA College Football, and we hope that you're enjoying it. North Carolina leading Clemson 7-0 as Danny Ford paces the Clemson sideline. 11:59 left to go in the second quarter, and unfortunately, Terry Kennard, Danny Ford's fine defensive back, is still down.
I will not attempt, however, to name all of the coaches in college football who got their training with Bear Bryant. I think we'd be here for about 3 hours.
That's right. And we began, of course, with Danny Ford.
Basketball scrimmage Tuesday, November 18th at the Greenville High School gym.
North Carolina has really controlled the football here so far. Clemson had an opportunity to score after recovering a fumbled punt on great punt coverage and Greg Poole's inability to call the fair catch, but they could not take it in as they fumbled the football back to North Carolina. North Carolina coming up with it at their own 15. And Carolina has really dominated so far. They lead 7-0, and they are threatening to score once again as they have picked up a first down at about the 13-yard line of Clemson. Jack Kane, number 12, has come into the Clemson defensive backfield for Kennard, who is, again, still down, being attended to. And there's a look at some of the Clemson players who have made it in the NFL, and there's been like one a year, it seems like, Cupper, come out of this school.
Not only making it, but making it big.
We'll hope to have a report, of course, for you on Terry Kennard's condition. And it obviously is something that isn't minor because he has yet to leave the field. As you can see, we have an outstanding afternoon for football here. The temperature at game time was right at 70 degrees. The crowd here in excess of 60,000. A capacity crowd. This place holds about 63,000, and they put them on the grassy bank in addition to all the stands that they have.
And they will make some noise here.
Yes, they do. And now they're applauding as Terry Kennard is being lifted onto a stretcher. Unfortunately, will have to be removed from the field at that point. And as I mentioned, we hope to have a report for you with regard to the extent of his injury.
That does hurt because he was the third leading tackler on the team and probably the outstanding athlete in the secondary for the Tigers.
Kennard, a sophomore from Sumter, South Carolina, and unfortunately being carried from the field. We'll have a report for you just as soon as we can. And he appears to be in pain, as you can tell. He's been replaced by Jack Kane, number 12, who comes in to play free safety, a senior from Atlanta, Georgia. 11:59, as I mentioned, to go in the second quarter.
That is the third player in the Clemson secondary that's been shaken up today.
North Carolina has their 10th first down of the afternoon, and it is a first and goal as they have the ball at the 7.5-yard line of Clemson, and the Clemson fans come to life out of the power I formation. Now Johnson goes in motion. Amos Lawrence takes the pitch, trying to get to the outside. Breaks the tackle and gets out near the 6-yard line. They'll mark it at the 5. A gain of 2.5 yards on the play, down to the 5-yard line. Jeff Davis, 45, ran Famous Amos out of bounds, and it'll be second down and goal for North Carolina at the Clemson 5. Kelvin Bryant and Billy Johnson, the two running backs now, as Amos Lawrence comes out. There's the score. Second and goal. Bryant driving down to the 2-yard line before he's driven back. Kelvin Bryant picks up 3 yards before Jeff Davis, number 45, and Jack Kane, number 12, drive him back and out of bounds. As Dick Crum looks on from the North Carolina sideline, it'll be third down and goal from the 2.
Running that left side, and not too surprisingly, because they have a fellow over there by the name of Ron Wooten, who is one of the premier offensive linemen in collegiate football. Right next to him, of course, is center Rick Donnelly.
Sophomore Rod Elkins leads them up on third down and goal. Bryant stopped for no gain. The Clemson defense, Jeff Davis, 45, and Jack Kane, number 12, again combining for the stop and stop Kelvin Bryant for no gain. It'll be fourth down and goal from the 2.
They tried a rerun of the play they scored on earlier, a variation of the old belly play where they faked to the fullback and gave the second man through the tailback. Clemson was there and waiting.
The ball at the 1.5-yard line. The Clemson fans coming to their feet. Kelvin Bryant Touchdown! Scores from 1.5 yards out as Dick Crum remains stoic on the sidelines, and North Carolina takes a 13-0 lead here in the second quarter.
Well, the coach may have been stoic, but the tailback was not. Watch the enthusiasm and the intensity that Kelvin Bryant runs with right here as he battles his way for the end zone. There is the extra effort right there that puts him head and shoulders over the goal line.
Underwood and Davis were both there that they could do nothing about it, as now Jeff Hayes, number 7, is on to attempt the extra point. It hits the upright and bounds through. It's good.
Little pool shot.
Always need a little luck. 10:24 to go in the second quarter. North Carolina on a 1.5-yard run by Bryant has jumped out to a 14-0 lead over Clemson.
Hey, you're driving half a car.
To prove Haviland Supreme gives cars engine protection up front.
I know, but...
Well, you should know. It delivered proven protection in punishing state trooper testing.
Yeah, but...
Where's the rest of my car?
Yeah.
Here it comes. To prove Texaco's Haviland Supreme delivered improved mileage, too. Upfront protection backed by improved mileage. That's Haviland Supreme.
Do me a favor.
I know. Prove how good Haviland is in the next county, huh?
You take 1,000 hearts up here with you. Make them skip a beat. Then take them back down to Miller time. Time for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer.
When it's time to relax,
Miller High Life.
one beer stands clear. If you've got time, we've got the beer.
More than 2 million fans watched action in the NCAA's Football Division 1AA last season. Membership has grown to 46 teams in 1980, with Eastern Kentucky defending its championship. ABC will cover the title game December 20th from Sacramento, California.
Tiger spirit is very much in evident, even though North Carolina has just taken a 14-0 lead. As these fans are rabid, Jeff Hayes is set to kick off as you look at Hedden, number 9, who's back with Rod McSwain. Number 28 deep to receive. Hayes kickoff, and he squibs it along the ground. Taking it to 25-yard line by number 33, Chuck Rose, linebacker.
Jeff Suttle returns the kickoff.
No, it was Suttle and not Rose. As you look at the North Carolina scoring drive. 23, not 33. Suttle returning it out to the 32-yard line. 22 plays, 85 yards. That's quite a drive. 1st and 10, North Carolina. Jordan wants to put it up. Fires, and it is complete on the near sideline at the 45-yard line. Complete to Perry Tuttle, the junior from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and the leading receiver for Clemson.
And that officially moves him into 4th place in career receiving, putting him 1 catch now ahead of Glenn Smith. And he is only a junior. Ultimately, he may knock on the door for Jerry Butler's records.
Wilbur Bullard, number 8, and Edgar Pickett, number 34, in the backfield now behind Jordan. 1st and 10. Clemson from their own 45. Pickett out of the fullback position, gains 4 to the 49-yard line of Clemson. Incidentally, the report on Terry Kennard, the injured defensive back of Clemson, is that he has suffered a shoulder injury, and the extent of which is not yet known. He missed his freshman season entirely with a shoulder injury, so it may be a re-injury to that same shoulder. We'll try to have further report on Kennard's condition for you when we can. The gain of 4 by Pickett makes it 2nd down and 6 at the 49-yard line of Clemson. 9:38 to go in the second quarter. North Carolina leading 14-0. Pickett again. Whistles, flags, and maybe they didn't get it off in time. That is the indication. Delay of game. Referee Rob Carpenter indicating against Clemson, and it'll be a 5-yard mark off. Back to the 44-yard line, where it'll now be 2nd down and 11. That's a lot different than 2nd down and 6.
That is the type of thing the Tigers must avoid, because this is a very important drive for them right now if they're going to reestablish the momentum.
On 2nd down and 11. Gilliard in motion. Pickett again, running the first portion rather of the option. Gets 2 yards to the 46-yard line. Number 29, Darrell Nicholson, junior linebacker out of Winston-Salem, makes the tackle.
That is an effective way to shut the option down.
Take the option away.
Yep.
That's right. And a big difference, over 100 yards in rushing.
Exactly the type of game that Coach Dick Crum and his staff were hoping for.
It is 3rd down and 9. Clemson at their own 46. With 3 wide receivers in the ball game, and Jordan under pressure. He cannot get away. Dropped at the 32-yard line. Breaking through, number 98, Lawrence Taylor, and number 76, Donnell Thompson, to sack Jordan back at the 32-yard line of Clemson. It'll be 4th down and about a quarter mile to go.
This is the type of intimidation that North Carolina had going for them so well coming into last week's game against Oklahoma. They lost some of that last week against the Sooners, but now they seem to have regained it.
We do have a penalty marker down, however, as Rob Carpenter, the referee, will mark it off against North Carolina, and it will not be 4th and long for Clemson as they move it into Clemson territory, or rather North Carolina territory, at the 49-yard line of the Tar Heels. And it is offside against North Carolina.
Offside against North Carolina.
We now have a further report on Terry Kennard, Clemson's fine free safety. He has a broken upper arm, and it appeared to be his left arm. He broke his upper left arm. Look at big Lawrence Taylor. The second penalty on Clemson for 10 yards. Cliff Austin, number 7, is now in at tailback for Clemson. McCall in at fullback for 32. 3rd down, 5 yards to go. Jordan to pass again. Eludes the pressure, fires over the middle, in and out of his intended receiver, and incomplete at the 25-yard line. It was intended for Jeff Stockstill. Sammy Johnson, number 27, was covering him on the play. Stockstill, the sophomore from Fernandina Beach, Florida, unable to come up with it.
Sprint out left now by Homer Jordan. He fakes the sprint draw to the tailback. He's looking for Stockstill, whose brother throws it a few passes for Florida State. And there is the hit, and a good one in the secondary.
Rich Headley is on to punt. Headley averaging over 40 yards a kick. Poole back deep to receive, and this one goes off the side of his foot and out of bounds. As the officials mark it, they'll do it at the 27-yard line of North Carolina. The Tar Heels will have the football back with 7:59 remaining in the second quarter.
A bright red fire truck, a blue Calliope, a yellow moon, a pink balloon, a golden Dixie Jamboree. Yes, America's true colors come through on GE.
GE TV brings you America's true colors, vivid and lifelike. And with GE's special VIR2 circuit, the color is automatically adjusted.
Yes, America's true colors come through on GE. GE, we bring good things to life.
Falcon Parcel Service in Mountain View, California runs their Chevy Chevette fleet 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So they know Chevette's durable enough to stay in service. To be in any business today, you've got to cover a lot of territory. And that's one of the reasons you'll see Chevy Chevette working all over the country. And starring in the Joey Chitwood Thrill Show, the 1981 Chevy Chevette. One tough son of a gun.
They didn't quite wait long enough for us to get back from the commercial, and Lawrence carried the ball on 1st down, picked up about 7 yards on the play, but as you see, is injured on the play.
I thought I saw him holding his ribs, and he told me yesterday that he would be playing in this game with a flak jacket. He has had problems with bruised ribs all season, and he may have re-injured those ribs. We'll see.
Joe Glenn, number 53, a sophomore from Columbia, South Carolina, made the hit on him. And Amos trotting off under his own power. Appears to be all right. But with bruised ribs, it's hard sometimes even to breathe.
Well, maybe that flak jacket works, though.
Could be.
He got up pretty swift after he once regained himself.
He's moving gingerly on the sideline. However, it'll be second. You like that? It's almost as good as your pregame word. What was your pregame word?
Ubiquitous.
Ubiquitous. Lawrence Taylor.
Which is a nice way of saying he's all over the place.
And he is. 2nd down, 3 yards to go. Walter Sturdivant now in the backfield as Elkins drops back to throw and throws it long down the near sideline. Intercepted at the 25-yard line of Clemson. intended for Kelvin Bryant, number 44. It was picked off by Hollis Hall, number 29. Hall coming up with a big interception, the junior from Seneca, South Carolina, at the Clemson 25.
Play action pass, the fake is to the fullback. Rod Elkins drops back, and he's trying to find his tailback along the left sidelines. Now, Kelvin Bryant does have a step. The ball is underthrown, and there is the interception right there, and that is a big one for the Clemson Tigers.
There's Hollis Hall on the sideline who picked that ball off. Hall, a junior from Seneca, in the defensive backfield for Clemson. The Tigers have it 1st and 10 at their own 25. McCall, the lone setback behind Jordan, who wants to put it up. Fires a sideline screen to Perry Tuttle, and Tuttle gets about 4 yards to the 30-yard line, maybe a gain of 5 as they'll mark it past the 30-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Bill Jackson, 28 on the tackle.
Perry Tuttle, the leading receiver in the Atlantic Coast Conference coming into today's game, and now 4th in career receiving for Clemson, runs a little hitch pattern. And what that does is it creates an immediate open field situation for a good wide receiver such as Perry Tuttle.
That was his 3rd catch for 25 yards today. On 2nd down and 5. Clemson from their own 30. Running the counter option. McSwain, the tailback, has the 1st down and breaks a tackle at the 42. McSwain in the open field. Down at the 38-yard line of North Carolina. Tyrus Bratton had to make the tackle in the secondary as Clemson operated that counter option beautifully, and McSwain turned on some great running ability down the sideline.
Chuck McSwain is a tailback with a lot of potential, and frankly, up until today, he maybe hasn't lived up to some of that potential. But now we see it. Coach Danny Ford was hoping he would run with this kind of intensity today. And we have really seen this young man doing some of the things that he is capable of doing. Power, acceleration, open field running ability.
A gain of 32 yards gives Clemson a 1st and 10 at the 38 of North Carolina. Jordan pulls it down and looks for running room and gets to the 35, a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Number 94, Harry Standback, a senior from Rockingham, North Carolina, made the tackle.
Homer Jordan really came into his own in the ball game last week against Wake Forest. At one point, Clemson led in that game 35-7. The final score, of course, was 35-33. Got wild.
A wild 4th quarter. Homer Jordan and his total offense statistics. 2nd down, 7 from the North Carolina 35. Jordan on the option. Keeps it close to a 1st down as he gets down to the 25-yard line. He does have enough for a 1st down for Clemson.
Good judgment. Good judgment that time by Homer Jordan on the option. Electing to keep rather than pitch upfield.
Lee Schaffer, number 49, had to make the tackle in the secondary.
Watch, and let's see if we can see where he does utilize good judgment as he clears the corner and gets downfield. He almost starts to pitch back to McSwain at one point, sees that McSwain is covered, takes it on himself for an additional 3 yards.
1st down, Clemson at the 25 of North Carolina. Number 8, Wilfer Bullard, is in at tailback, but this is number 32, McCall, the fullback, who pulls his way inside the 20-yard line. Lee Nanny, number 77, the fine offensive tackle of Clemson with a good block to spring McCall, the fullback, for a gain of about 8 yards, may get 7 yards. As they mark it at the 18-yard line, it'll be 2nd and 3.
Nanny, who you mentioned, has clearly been their best offensive lineman. If there is one area of question for Clemson, it would be in the offensive line where they have no seniors.
And they have an all-sophomore backfield, generally, as we mentioned, sometimes with a freshman or 2 in there. On 2nd and 3, McCall again diving, trying to get the 1st down. He'll be short of it, however, as they'll mark it at the 16. No, they'll mark it at the 17-yard line for a gain of 1. It'll be 3rd down and 2 yards to go. Lee Schaffer, 49, again on the tackle for that Carolina Blue defense. Clemson holding only their 2nd scoring threat of the afternoon. We have 3:55 remaining in the 2nd quarter. North Carolina leading 14-0. And now Clemson has asked for a timeout, stopping the clock with 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the 1st half. We'll return to a jam-packed Death Valley in Clemson, South Carolina in a minute.
Gee, Ollie, this windshield's so messy, I can't see. We need new wiper blades.
I know that.
Make sure your windshield wipers work when you need them. A new set of Anco wiper blades every year is a quick and inexpensive way to see your way clear.
Ollie, without new Anco wipers, we could have been hit by that piano. Piano?
You've never seen a train like this. The Golden Eagle. Golden Eagle gleaming. Golden Eagle with its big shining logo, hauling a long load of freight past the crossing with its flashing lights and warning bells, to the yard where the rugged crane loads pipes day and night. And when you turn off the lights, night glow lights up all that action. Golden Eagle, what a train. From Tyco, of course.
ABC's Wide World of Sports returns Saturday, December 13th with an exciting collection of international championships and events here on the sports leader, ABC.
The Tigers using their first timeout. They have 2 remaining this half and 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the second quarter. It is third down, 2 yards to go. Clemson has the ball at the North Carolina 17. North Carolina leading 14-0. Power I formation in the backfield. McCall, the fullback, and he's jammed up for no gain. North Carolina's defense is right there. Number 29, Darrell Nicholson, one of the first defenders to make the hit, along with number 28, Bill Jackson, as they were playing the run tough.
They have some tough people on their defensive unit. Pro scouts are interested in a lot of the players on both the offensive and defensive units for North Carolina.
Calvin Daniels, 93, also in on that play. No gain on the carry. Cliff Austin, number 7, a sophomore from Scottsdale, Georgia, is now in at running back for Clemson. Again, Clemson will go from the power I on 4th down and 1.5 yards to go. McSwain out of the tailback gets it. McSwain inside the 15-yard line. They'll mark it inside the 13-yard line. Steve Streeter, number 5, and 32, Greg Poole, combined for the defensive stop.
Power I, double tight end, lead blocked by the fullback, and here comes McSwain off left tackle. And there is that opening that he needed.
Clemson comes up with a big first down on 4th down and 2. They now have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line of North Carolina. Again, Gilliard goes in motion. McCall, the fullback, and McCall is inside the 10-yard line. 34, Paul Davis, the nose guard, and 49, Lee Schaffer, combined to make the tackle.
Taking a page now out of the Tar Heels playbook, they are controlling the game with tackle-to-tackle running. Fullback running guard to guard and tailback tackle to tackle, occasionally mixing in the option play. This has been the type of drive that Clemson needed.
There's Dick Crum on the Carolina sideline. Jeff McCall, a sophomore from Fayetteville, North Carolina, at 6'3" and 225. A good-sized fullback. 2nd down, 7 yards to go from just inside the North Carolina 10. On the option, Jordan passing into the end zone. Almost intercepted but dropped. Number 3, Tyrus Bratton, a senior from Thomasville, North Carolina, got his hands on it. It was intended for Perry Tuttle in the end zone.
I have a feeling that play was improvised.
I think so too, because Jordan had somebody right in his face.
I think he was supposed to run the option play, and he decided he was just going to throw the ball.
He almost had to throw the ball because he was trapped really in the backfield. There's Tyrus Bratton, who almost came up with the interception. It is 3rd down and 7 yards to go. Clemson only 1 of 6 on 3rd down conversions so far. McCall, the ball carrier. Jeff McCall will not get it. McCall picks up maybe a yard to the 9-yard line is all. 76, Donnell Thompson, the 260-pound senior, wraps him up.
Here's the option play. Part 1 right there to the fullback, McCall, big Hoss fullback, and he's not going to make it. And we're going to see Obed Ariri.
And here he is, Obed Ariri, who has come into the game to attempt a field goal. They will mark it as Bo Blanton, number 18, the reserve quarterback, will hold it at the 16-yard line. It'll be a 26-yard attempt for Ariri. And it's good. And Obed Ariri, with that kick, has just become the #1 NCAA field goal kicker.
57th field goal. He now passes up Tony Franklin. He was tied with Tony Franklin at 56 coming into today's game. And so that makes him the finest kicker in NCAA history. You know, he didn't really even care that much about football.
That's true. He is from Owerri, Nigeria, and he's actually a graduate student here at Clemson. He's completed his schooling already, and he's in graduate school, but of course still has eligibility left on a football field.
I thought Danny Ford had a great line yesterday. We said, well, is he worried about breaking the NCAA record? He says, I don't think he even knows what NCAA means.
As you see, he did play professional soccer with the Chicago Sting, and he has a contract to play this coming season, and he has yet to decide whether or not he will. But Clemson, as you look at Amos Lawrence on the sideline with some ice on that injured shoulder. And now Owerri is being awarded the football. Obed Ariri being awarded the football for his record-breaking field goal. And deservedly so. There he is, Obed Ariri.
That brings a standing ovation. 63,000 people are now honoring this outstanding young kicker, Obed Ariri.
Quite an interesting fellow. From an interesting family in Nigeria, by the way. He puts Clemson on the scoreboard with his 26-yard field goal with 1:17 remaining in the first half. It's 14-3, North Carolina over Clemson, and Ariri will kick off for the first time today. Mark Smith, number 45, and Victor Harrison, number 9, are back deep to receive, standing on about the 1-yard line. He goes high and deep and into the end zone. Smith takes it 2 yards deep. Trying to get to the outside, breaks the tackle and gets to about the 18 is all. A nice high kick. Chuck Bauman, or rather Nick Bauman, number 40 or number 57. Nick Bauman makes the tackle. A nice high kick by Ariri and good coverage by Clemson. 1st and 10 North Carolina as you see the time remaining. Here's the big one, Georgia leading Florida, Cupper.
Wonder what Herschel Walker is doing today. My goodness, did you see him last week against South Carolina?
Awesome.
He is awesome.
Minnesota leading Indiana. Kelvin Bryant in at tailback, and Billy Johnson, the fullback, carries straight ahead. Johnson gets across the 20. They'll mark it at the 22 for a gain of 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and about 6 yards to go. Northwestern and Michigan State tied in the first quarter.
Some of the pro scouts think Herschel Walker is the finest back to come along in about 25 years. One of those, particularly Gil Brandt, will be visiting with us at halftime. He just showed up here in the booth. I'm really looking forward to talking with him.
There's Bill Smith, number 84 of Clemson, a junior defensive end who was injured on the play. From Duncan, South Carolina, is being attended to. We have 50 seconds remaining in the first half. He had knee surgery on that left knee that they're attending to, and we hope that he hasn't re-injured it too severely. We'll take a moment to remind you of an upcoming show here on ABC this weekend. College Football 80. Every weekend on ABC with highlights of some of the great games being played today around the country. Be sure to check the local listings for the time in your area. You'll see tomorrow highlights of Alabama LSU, UCLA Oregon, Penn State against North Carolina State, Oklahoma Kansas, Purdue against Iowa, and in the Southwest, Texas against Houston. College Football 80 with host Bill Fleming. Be sure to check your local listings for the time of that show in your area. Again, here's the play on which Bill Smith was injured.
Take a look and maybe we can see how Bill Smith did hurt himself. Here he is on the outside, and you can see that he got twisted around pretty good right in there.
That makes me hurt just watching it.
Yeah, that smarts, doesn't it?
The knee injuries I've had. 53 Joe Glenn has replaced Bill Smith as you see him being carried to the sideline.
Yeah, they hacked your knee up pretty good, didn't they?
More than once.
Can you get through security?
Got so much metal in there, the metal detector goes off. 2nd down and 6. Bryant. Maybe a yard is all to the 23-yard line, depending on where they mark the forward progress. They'll mark it, I guess, closer to the 24 for a gain of 2. Chuck Rose, number 33, and James Robinson, number 75, combining for the tackle. That field goal a little while earlier, incidentally, by Ariri was his 13th consecutive.
He's heading for another record in that department, too. Right. We're going to have to keep the numbers on that straight.
The clock is stopped on the timeout now with 33 seconds as Clemson calls the timeout with 33 seconds remaining in the first half. And we thank you for the sign. Also a reminder that this Monday night on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, a big one, a good one, the New England Patriots against the Houston Oilers. Houston, of course, led by quarterback Ken Stabler and Earl Campbell, going up against Steve Grogan, Russ Francis, and the New England Patriots. That's ABC's NFL Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern Time, live this Monday night over most of these ABC stations.
There is a rivalry that has really intensified in recent years.
Yes. New England of the AFC East and Houston of the AFC Central, both trying to get in the playoffs. 33 seconds as we look at Danny Ford on the Clemson sideline. Clemson calling the timeout. North Carolina completing the pass, but for very short yardage, a gain of perhaps 2 yards is all, as Elkins hits Mike Chatham, his tight end, for a gain of 2 out to the 26-yard line. Willie Underwood, number 20, on the tackle, and again the clock stops with 26 seconds remaining as Clemson uses their final timeout of the half.
Chatham is only a backup tight end, but he, strangely enough, is the leading receiver on the Tar Heel team.
He and Shelton Robinson both split time as you look at Mike Chatham at that tight end position for North Carolina. Some of the Carolina fans who made the trip down. 26 seconds remaining in the first half. North Carolina leading Clemson 14-3. And the Tar Heels have had control of the football game except for 2 pretty good drives on the part of Clemson. One, of course, resulted in a fumble that North Carolina recovered. The other, of course, on Ariri's record-breaking field goal.
That fumble, to me, right now, is the key play of the football game, because we could very easily have a 14-10 ball game.
It is 4th down and about 3 yards to go. North Carolina will have to kick the ball away. And they will be kicking into about a 12-mile-an-hour wind. The wind was blowing out of the southwest at 10 to 12 miles an hour when the game began. This is North Carolina's first punt. Steve Streeter, number 5, gets it away, averaging 43 yards per kick. Billy Davis will let it bounce inside the 35-yard line. North Carolina covering it at the 32-yard line of Clemson. 15 seconds remaining in the first half.
Steve Streeter did a heck of a job of getting that ball off. Of course, he's Jimmy's brother. Got another Streeter named Eric who's playing high school football here in the Carolinas. Another quarterback.
Quite a family.
Yeah.
It's a 42-yard punt, just about right at Streeter's average. No return, of course. At the 32-yard line of Clemson, the Tigers will have the football with 15 seconds left to play in the first half. Jordan wants to put it up. Lots of time. Looking, throwing long. Has Tuttle. Tuttle has it inside the 10 at the 6-yard line. Clemson has no timeouts remaining. Tuttle has the ball at the 5-yard line. Tuttle may be injured on the play, or he may be attempting to get a timeout.
Or he may be trying to get a drama degree right now.
It's a 63-yard gain down to the 5-yard line. The clock is stopped with 4 seconds remaining.
That was a remarkable pass by Homer Jordan. He was rolling to his left. And what he's doing, this is the last part of it, as you see him fire that ball. This ball goes about 55 yards in the air. Perry Tuttle running a post pattern, down and in, behind the secondary. Great catch, and then he wisely, either he was hurt, or like you say, maybe he was looking for a timeout via the injury.
Well, I hope that he is not seriously injured, and we don't mean to imply or take the fact that he might be injured lightly.
I hope not either. I hope that he is actually faking an injury, because that's one of the things you're schooled to do. The play action fake, as you just saw. Now watch right here. You see a scramble play. Well, he didn't actually scramble. What he did is he pumped twice and then throws deep to Perry Tuttle, who is behind the secondary. Makes a wonderful catch. And I guess he's going to be all right. But I think he had the wind knocked out of him.
Jordan has completed 4 of 7 passes for 88 yards, and Obed Ariri is on to attempt another field goal. They'll spot it at about the 12 or 13-yard line, sort of in between the two of them. We call it the 13. Time is running out. Ariri gets it away. As the gun goes off, it's good. Obed Ariri with another field goal, this one from about 22 or 23 yards out. just as the gun goes off. And Clemson, following that tremendous 63-yard pass to Tuttle, gets 3 more points as the half ends. 14-6, North Carolina, as we come to the end of the first half. And we'll be back with today's halftime activities from Clemson, South Carolina, after this message about an upcoming show here on ABC, as well as a word from our local stations.
Sunday on those amazing animals, see deadly vampire bats and terrifying sea monsters. Then at 8, 7 Central and Mountain, Bond is back, and nobody does it better.
I will kill you.
007 meets his deadliest enemies.
Don't move.
Farewell, Mr. Bond. Spy Who Loved Me. Parental discretion advised. And right after the movie, Good Morning America celebrates its spectacular 5th anniversary Sunday.
Mr. Copperfire, General Copper and Brass Company of Collingdale has a full line of copper and copper alloys in sheets, rods, and tubes. Our services include slitting, sawing, and shearing. General Copper has bearing bronze up to 24-inch OD and 105 inches long. Whether your order is large or small, make General Copper and Brass Company of Collingdale, Pennsylvania your first call. Thank you.
That your dad?
Uh-huh.
What's he doing?
Selling insurance.
Oh, what kind?
Nationwide.
Why?
Because he likes to sell good stuff.
Oh.
My mom's a nationwide agent, too.
Really?
She likes to help people.
Well, nationwide agents like to offer blanket protection for people's lives, health, homes, cars, businesses.
He cooks good hot dogs, too.
And they cook good hot dogs, too.
Nationwide is on your side.
WGHP TV 8, High Point, Greensboro, Winston-Salem.
Steve Zabriskie along with the Lee Gross Cup welcoming you back to Clemson, South Carolina. We're at the start of our halftime activities with North Carolina leading Clemson 14-6. And the North Carolina Marching Tar Heel Band is performing under the direction of John Yesolaitis, Director of Bands at North Carolina. Their halftime show featuring highlights from the story West Side Story. And this, of course, tonight.
Written by Leonard Bernstein, released on Broadway in 1958. What else would you like to know?
Carolina Marching Tar Heel Band performs here at halftime. Let's take a time out to make the move up to Chapel Hill and take a look at the beautiful campus of North Carolina.
The University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is one of the leading educational institutions in the nation. More than 20,000 students come to study in the university's 14 colleges and schools and 70 departments and institutes. The university has one of the most extensive medical and health sciences centers in the nation, with 5 health professional schools and a teaching and referral hospital. Students from every state and 50 foreign countries enjoy a pleasant blend of cosmopolitan university life and the village atmosphere of Chapel Hill. The town has often been called the southern part of heaven. As a strong example of the value to society of academic integrity, inquiry, and freedom, the university has been called the capital of the Southern mind. The University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. More than an education, an experience.
And the North Carolina Band continues to perform the music from West Side Story here at halftime. The North Carolina Marching Tar Heel Band under the direction of John Yesolaitis performing West Side Story music here at halftime. And as a regular feature of our halftime, of course, we bring you a Fireman's Fund flashback. And the subject of this week's Fireman's Fund flashback is that stunning upset, 6-3, Mississippi State over Alabama last week that knocked Alabama from the unbeaten ranks and also unbeaten in the Southeastern Conference. And as always, today's Fireman's Fund flashback is brought to you by Fireman's Fund Insurance. And Fireman's Fund Insurance is brought to you by an independent agent near you. Now let's take a look at that stunning upset last week, Mississippi State defeating Alabama.
We seem to have one Saturday every autumn that we call Upset Saturday. Well, maybe it was the ghosts and goblins left over from Halloween, but last week we really had them. For Alabama coach Paul Bear Bryant, last Saturday's game against Mississippi State figured to be just another ball game. After all, his team had won 28 in a row and was ranked #1 in the land. But Mississippi State coach Emory Bellard and his Bulldogs had their dreams too, dreams of a victory. And from the very opener, the Bulldogs played with determination and played with ferocity. Didn't play at all like an underdog. Early in the fourth period, sophomore place kicker Dana Moore made the score 6-3 in favor of Mississippi State. And victory was in the Bulldogs' grasp and they knew it. Yet Alabama wasn't through. One last effort, bringing the Tide to the Bulldogs' 4-yard line. There, first and goal, 6 seconds remaining. Quarterback Don Jacobs ready to take the team into the end zone. Bear said he wasn't interested in a tie. But senior Tyrone Keyes came through, caused a fumble. It was recovered by Billy Jackson, and victory belonged to the Bulldogs. For the first time in 22 years, they had beaten Alabama. Defeat is not something that Bear Bryant often experiences. And yet in losing, he had dignity. And after the game, he went to the Bulldog locker room, a moment that Bulldog senior Alan Massey says he'll never, ever forget.
When I walked through the door at the locker room, Coach Bear Bryant was standing there, and I didn't hear all the speech, but he was complimenting on our win. He said it was a decisive victory over his team, Alabama. And it just meant so much to see him in there, because I know the whole nation, respects the man as a coach, and so do I.
Victory fever still has not let up in Starkville, Mississippi. There's a feeling in town that Matt Edwards says he has never before witnessed.
Beating Alabama to me has been the greatest experience of my lifetime. It's been the most tremendous feeling I've ever had. The town, the people here, the team, everybody associated with Mississippi State. This seems like they've gone crazy.
This past week on an off day, the coach gathered his team together to watch the game's films and to savor that victory all over again.
I want you to remember how you felt when you walked off there a winner. And also I want you to remember why that you walked off there a winner. And because that's the whole thing that makes you something very special and separates you from the average.
And we'll have more halftime activities after this message.
You know, for business insurance, Fireman's Fund fits most everyone, large or small. For example, it helps cover a business as huge as Ralston Purina or as small as Beckman Turf and Irrigation, Anheuser-Busch, or Fantas's Restaurant, even the Chicago Cubs. So for your business insurance, ask your independent agent about Fireman's Fund. Large or small, this hat is just your size. In the yellow pages, Fireman's Fund Insurance Companies.
We're at halftime with North Carolina leading Clemson 14-7, and the Clemson band on the field under the direction of Dr. Bruce Cook. The North Carolina-Clemson game is being brought to you on ABC by McDonnell Douglas, builders of the DC-10, now serving 90 nations, flying 1,000,000 miles a day. By Chevrolet and your Chevy dealer with Chevette, Monza, Citation, and the new Monte Carlo, Chevy's up ahead for 1981. By General Electric Television, GE, we bring good things to life. And by ANCO, makers of wiper blades, refills, snow blades, and other windshield products to see your way clear. University Tiger Band under the direction of Dr. Bruce Cook, 215 members strong. Joe Ballard is the drum major, and today's show will feature Crown Imperial and the theme of British band music. The next arrangement by the band will be the folk song Lost Lady Found. what they consider to be a unique arrangement of that tune. Their whole theme this afternoon is British band music. Performance continues with the tune Army of the Nile by the British March King, Kenneth Alford, considered to be the British equivalent of our John Philip Sousa. Performs, let's take a moment to take a look at the beautiful campus of Clemson University, located here near the Greenville-Spartanburg area in South Carolina.
This was the home of John C. Calhoun. Later, his son-in-law Thomas Green Clemson lived here. He donated this plantation to the state of South Carolina in 1888. Today, the plantation still contains the mansion, but it's also home for Clemson University, one of America's land-grant institutions with more than 11,000 students.
Thomas Clemson had a dream to provide educational opportunities for everyone in South Carolina. Today, that dream is being realized, and from the campus, the dream touches the lives of the people in this state and the region. Today, we strive together to solve the tough problems facing the nation now and in the future.
Steve Zabriskie along with Lee Grosskep. Here's Lee with Gil Brandt of the Dallas Cowboys, their vice president and director of player personnel.
Gil, first of all, thank you for stopping by and being with us today. And the obvious question I have is that, you know, so many people compare famous Amos Lawrence with Tony Dorsett, and I don't think there's anyone better in America to ask about this comparison than you. How does he measure up at this respective point in their careers?
Well, I think Amos is a fine running back. I think one of the things that helps him now is the fact that they alternate him so that he's fresh. I don't think any college running back up until this time can compare with Tony Dorsett. I think when you gain 6,000 yards, take a team to a national championship, and not have a player drafted in the first 7 rounds, is what Pittsburgh did. I think when you accomplish that, I think you're the finest running back that college football has ever seen, and I think that's what Tony did for the University of Pittsburgh.
Where would an Amos Lawrence go in the pro draft? What round?
Oh, I think that he's a high draft choice. I don't think that he's going to be a first-round choice, but I think that he'll do a good job wherever he goes.
What about Lawrence?
Lawrence Taylor's an excellent linebacker. He's the kind of player that everybody's looking for. 6'3", 235 pounds, strong side linebacker, can cover in the pass, blitzes, just makes a lot of plays. He's a first-round pick.
Very quickly and hypothetically, where would a player like Choo-Choo Charlie Justice out of the 40s wind up today if he had a shot at pro football?
Well, you know, it's hard to tell, but I doubt if Choo-Choo Justice would make the impact in college football today that he did in the 40s. I think he was a great player then, but I think the game has changed. I think the players are so much better, so much faster, so much bigger. Maybe Choo-Choo would have been bigger too, but I don't think he would have been the player today that he was then.
One more, very quickly. Who will be the first player chosen this year in the pro draft?
Well, if I could have my pick, I'd take George Rogers.
Do you think he'll make the same impact as, say, a Billy Sims?
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that. I think he'll make a great impact on the team that he goes to.
Okay, Gil, thank you very much for visiting with us today, and good luck to you and the Dallas Cowboys. More halftime festivities in a moment, right after these messages.
Chevy Citation. We said it was a whole new kind of compact car, and we proved it. We put Citation to work with its front-wheel drive, room for 5, outstanding storage space, and impressive mileage. And now is the best-selling front-wheel drive car in America, with Motor Trend's Car of the Year award, 500,000 owners, and 6 billion miles. There's no doubt about it.
Chevy Citation.
It works.
You've got it, Art. I'm Pete Conrad in the cockpit of a McDonnell Douglas DC-10. I've talked to DC-10 pilots, and one thing comes through loud and clear: their confidence in this airplane. And no wonder. The DC-10 proves itself in the air, serving 90 countries, flying 1 million miles a day. The DC-10, one of the most thoroughly tested airliners ever built. I've got it, Art.
Michelob Light for the winning team, okay?
You guys would do that for us?
Would a bunch of guys really go at it this hard just for a beer? Well, consider it's Michelob Light, and that means a rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
You guys never played like that before.
Hey, we never played for a Michelob Light before.
Michelob Light, compare the taste.
Hi, I'm David Hartman, host of Good Morning America. All over our country, millions of students are participating in high school activities. Basketball, music, track and field events, drama, and many more. These programs are so important in developing healthy, well-rounded young people, in teaching them how to use their creative potential, how to work with others, how to deal with failure and success, skills that naturally complement classroom education. But right now, there's a shortage of money. These programs are so necessary for the education of almost half our high school students, and yet they cost less than 1% of our total education budget. High school activities are an important part of education, and they're a tremendous bargain. Let's keep them alive and healthy in America's high schools.
The preceding message has been provided by the NCAA.
We're nearing the end of our halftime activities here as North Carolina leads Clemson 14-7, and the Clemson Tiger Marching Band exits the field to the Tiger Rag. I believe I said 14-7. It's 14-6.
2 field goals.
Yeah. 2 field goals by Obed Ariri, who became the NCAA's all-time career field goal kicker. As we look at what's happening elsewhere, number 2 Georgia leading Florida at halftime, 14-10. State over North Carolina State in the first quarter, 7-0.
That's a good rivalry. Hey, how about this? Baylor doing it to the Hogs, 28-7. Lou Holt's going to have to come up with some one-liners at halftime. 3-3 Navy-Syracuse. Tie ball game there. Army over the Air Force. Battle of the military. Boy, this is a big Ivy League game right here. Dartmouth over Columbia. Kemp Shula connection there. Harvard and William & Mary's tied in the second quarter. Zip, zip. Pennsylvania behind Villanova, 7-zip.
And here it is 14-6, North Carolina leading Clemson as we get ready to start the third quarter of play, and we look at the halftime statistics.
Z, this is fascinating. Now look, North Carolina still dominates in the rushing department, but look what has happened over here in passing. So in total yards, Clemson now leads 179-171, and time of possession is virtually equal.
That big 63-yard pass play to Tuttle, the next to the last play of the half, really brought the yardage total up for Clemson.
And if that is a portent of things to come, we have a shootout here in the second half.
Here's a look at North Carolina's second touchdown. Kelvin Bryant on a 1-yard run out of the tailback position.
And watch carefully, and you're going to see a real second effort as he gets to the 1-yard line. Look, he appears to be stopped, but watch how he spins just a little bit to his right and then falls and gets the ball over the end line, and that's all you have to do.
That made it 14-0. And after that, that man right there, number 1, Obed Ariri, came on to kick 2 field goals, one of 26 yards, the other of 22 on the final play of the first half to put Clemson on the scoreboard and make it 14-6. Ariri will kick off, and dropping back deep to receive, you look at number 45, Mark Smith, will be one of the 2 deep receivers for North Carolina. Ariri from Owerri, Nigeria.
You like to say that.
I do. Ariri from Owerri.
Ariri from Owerri.
Number 9, Victor Harrison, is the other deep receiver for North Carolina as we start the second half. Smith will take it about 4 yards deep, and Harrison advises him not to run it out, so he doesn't. It'll be 1st and 10, North Carolina at their own 20-yard line as you look at a young fan with a little North Carolina pom-pom on her finger.
What's that all about?
I have no idea. The crowd is unhappy with something. Today, Obed Ariri has tied the following NCAA records: consecutive games kicking a field goal, 14. The most games in one season kicking 2 or more field goals, 7. So the records mount up. Kelvin Bryant and Billy Johnson in the backfield. This is Bryant taking the handoff from Elkins and slipping through there for about 3 or 4 yards when it looked like there wasn't much available. 75, James Robinson, the 265-pound sophomore from Charleston, making the tackle with help from Willie Underwood. A gain of 3 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Let's go, Tigers!
Sophomore Rod Elkins, 205-pound quarterback, leads him up and gives to Bryant once again. Bryant slipping to the outside, getting some running room and a block on the corner. Kelvin Bryant turning it on at the 40 of Clemson. Slips the tackle and is finally tripped up at the 23-yard line. Hollis Hall, number 29, and Jack Kane were chasing Kelvin Bryant deep into Clemson territory. Bryant taking it all the way to the 22.
Hollis Hall really was hauling, because I'll tell you something, this man runs 9.3 in the 100-yard dash. Now watch this. You can understand why the Tar Heels are excited about number 44, this sophomore, Kelvin Bryant. Watch this. See that burst? Is that Hollis Hall right there?
Yes, he just did trip him up.
Yep.
A gain of 55 yards. 1st and 10. That's the longest run from scrimmage against Clemson this year. Elkins sprinting out, keeping inside the 20, inside the 15 to the 14-yard line of Clemson. Covered by Chuck Rose, number 33. Jeff Davis, number 45, tripped him up, and Chuck Rose covered him. And that was also Bryant's longest run of his career so far, 55-yarder.
It was a beauty. Had Elkins had better peripheral vision that time, he might have seen Richardson along the sidelines. Look, he is sprinting to his left. Richardson does break clear, but by now he's made up his mind that he wants to keep the football, and you see some of his outstanding athletic ability on the scramble play.
On the bootleg, Elkins getting down to about the 12-yard line for a gain of 2.5 or 3 yards. 29, Hollis Hall. 53, Joe Glenn, combining for the defensive stop for Clemson's defense. And with another big play, North Carolina knocking on the door once again. They lead 14-6 here early in the 3rd quarter. It's close enough for the officials to take a look at it. Referee Rob Carpenter calling the chains across. And Elkins, number 10, the most interested spectator. And as you see, Elkins indicating across the field, and also Rob Carpenter indicating to us that much for a 1st down. It'll be 2nd down and about that much to go. Or 3rd down, excuse me. 3rd down in inches.
Rod Elkins is an athlete. He was a 3-sport letterman in high school. He has the size you like in a quarterback, 6'1", 195 pounds. They needed someone to take charge because they had kind of a guy who was sort of like a coach on the field. As you look at the numbers on Rod Elkins, he's carried 6 times now for 21 yards. I assume that's reversed. Or is that correct? Or is this for the season?
That may be his rushing for the season. Third down, inches to go at the 12-yard line of Clemson. Billy Johnson hammers ahead for maybe a yard. Appears to have more than enough for a first down, however, as he only needed inches. They'll mark it near the 11-yard line. It's going to be close. It is a first down for North Carolina.
Steve Durham on the tackle.
Well, the Tar Heels were 9 of 10 in third down conversions. That means that they are now 10 of 11. And you spoke of this yesterday, Z, that in short yardage situations like this, when you got a guy like Billy Johnson, it's got to make a difference.
Anytime you've got a 250-pound fullback, he ought to be able to get you inches on third or fourth down.
And it's a game of inches.
That's right. One of the top 10 cliches of all time. It is first and 10 from just outside the 11-yard line. Complete to Amos Lawrence, who's back in the game, and Lawrence is tackled immediately, but gets forward progress to about the 9-yard line, just inside the 10. Willie Underwood, number 20, made the hit on Famous Amos.
When we spoke to Famous Amos Lawrence at the top of the show, he talked about the tailback running routes in the flat. Now, this has been his favorite route. There he goes to the flat. That means he's one-on-one with a linebacker. And I think the most important thing is the fact that we see that he can move his shoulder. He is back in action. He's holding that shoulder a little bit now, but he will play in the second half.
Elkins now 4 of 5 passing for 27 yards on second down and 8 yards to go. Elkins again throwing it. This time he throws it into the ground and incomplete, intended for Chatham. And again, Underwood was covering him on the play. It'll be third down and 8 yards to go from just inside the 10-yard line of Clemson.
Well, whether Lawrence is there or not, they are solid at that tailback position because they have the best tandem of tailbacks in America in Lawrence and Kelvin Bryant.
Andy Hedden, number 9, comes in at a defensive back, replacing Underwood. There you see the first down situation. It is third down and 8, and on third down conversions, North Carolina is 10 out of 11. Elkins, under pressure, slips away from one man, fumbles! North Carolina recovers. Number 51, Rick Donnelly, their fine senior center from Raleigh, North Carolina, fell on the football, but it is a loss well back near the 25-yard line. Dan Benish, number 71, was all over Elkins and caused him to fumble the football.
Here is some heads-up football by center Rick Donnelly, number 51. There's a mix-up in the backfield on the sprint-out pass. Elkins gets himself into trouble. He should not be attempting to throw this football right now because he doesn't have his balance. He does. He gets the ball up. It's knocked loose. Now watch the effort by number 51, center Rick Donnelly.
Jeff Hayes on to attempt a field goal from the 36. It'll be a 46-yard attempt, and it's good. A penalty marker is down, however. A penalty marker is down. They indicate that the 46-yard, or 41-yard, I guess, field goal attempt is good. Offside against Clemson. It will not be enough of a penalty to give them a first down, so I would assume North Carolina will decline the penalty. But Hayes hits to make it 17-6 North Carolina with 11:06 left to play in the third quarter. They do decline the penalty. There you see the indication by Rob Carpenter. The offsides infraction against Clemson, and the field goal is good. And so Jeff Hayes extends North Carolina's lead over Clemson. Will return in just a minute.
In just a jiffy, I can help make your GM car run cleaner, run longer, and save gasoline.
How, Mr. Goodrich?
Well, maybe it's time for a new set of genuine GM filters to clean the oil, to clean the gasoline, to clean the 10,000 gallons of air your engine mixes with every gallon of gas.
Tall order.
And there's still time to check your wipers.
Keep that great GM feeling. That was fast, Mr. Goodrich, with genuine GM parts.
Now that the rough stuff's over, I'm gonna get swivelized.
You mean civilized?
I mean swivelized.
Introducing Gillette's new swivel razor, the only disposable with a moving head.
Is this the beginning of swivelization?
Right. The swivel razor's moving head hugs your face. No other disposable shaves you closer, more comfortably.
I demand my swivel rights.
Uh-oh. Try Gillette's new twin-blade swivel razor.
Any other disposable is unswivelized.
Jeff Hayes, who just kicked a 42-yard officially field goal to make it 17-6 North Carolina, will kick off. Andy Hedden, number 9, one of the 2 deep receivers for Clemson. Kevin Mack, number 27, is also back there with Hedden standing at the goal line. Hayes, the junior from Elkin, North Carolina, is set to kick it off. Line drive shot. Hedden fumbles it into the end zone after trying to catch it at the goal line. He will down it for a touchback, and Clemson will have 1st and 10 at their own 20. A reminder of what's coming up next is the second half of our doubleheader. In our region this afternoon, you will be seeing either USC against Stanford from the West Coast or Virginia Tech, Florida State. And depending on where you live in the region, you'll see one of those 2 games following ours here on ABC Today.
If Stanford loses that game today and Washington wins, it would appear that the Huskies will be headed for the Rose Bowl.
Clemson 1st and 10 at their own 20. Jordan at quarterback with McCall and McSwain in the backfield with him on the pitch to McSwain. McSwain with a nice move, cuts inside and picks up a 1st down as he gets it out across the 30-yard line. Tripped up by number 98, Lawrence Taylor, who was trailing the play, and 28, Billy Jackson.
This was the big play for the Tigers in the first half. The option play. There's part 1, the fake to the corner. There is the pitch, and the timing, once again, is precise as the pitch comes to McSwain right when he needs it. And there is the 1st down yardage.
Gain of 11 yards by McSwain, who's now carried 8 times for 71 yards. 1st and 10, Clemson from their own 31. Counter option. Jordan tried to pass it and had it knocked down at the line of scrimmage. It looked like number 93, Calvin Daniels, might have gotten a hand on it. Harry Standback, number 94, also putting the pressure on him, along with Donnell Thompson, number 76.
Some good names you mentioned there, all pro prospects.
The incompletion makes it 2nd down and 10 yards to go from the 31-yard line of Clemson.
2nd and 10, Tigers.
On the option again, McSwain taking the pitch, driving to the 35 and knocked out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. Number 49, Lee Schaffer, a junior out of Durham, North Carolina, drove him out of bounds. We have another injured player down on the field. A North Carolina player is injured. Tyrus Bratton, number 3, getting up with the help of a teammate in the secondary for North Carolina.
It has been that kind of a day. They are hitting out there.
They came to hit.
Yes.
There you see Bratton, a senior from Thomasville, North Carolina. And I didn't catch the score, Cupper. I was talking, but it apparently has excited the Clemson fans.
Something about South Carolina.
The Citadel was leading South Carolina 10-7.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
It could be an upset in the making as Bratton goes off the field.
Clemson and South Carolina, 2 teams that don't like each other very much.
No. Another big rivalry here in South Carolina. Larry Winters, number 48, has come into the backfield, the defensive backfield of North Carolina, to replace Tyrus Bratton. 3rd down, 5 yards to go. Clemson 1 of 7 on 3rd down conversions today. McSwain on the sprint draw has an open field and is fighting very near the 1st down yardage. A penalty marker goes down on the tackle, however. We may have a face mask infraction as McSwain appeared to have gotten enough for the 1st down.
I think we may have had a clip.
Referee Rob Carpenter will tell us it is a clip. Good eyes, Cupper. And so the apparent 1st down gain by McSwain will be nullified, and they'll move it back from the spot of the infraction.
Let's see if we can see that clip right now. It's just the tailback blast or isolation play as McSwain goes off the left side. He's putting on the juice right here. And you see the clip coming from the outside.
The penalty moves the ball back inside the 30-yard line of Clemson at the 27-yard line, where it is now 3rd down and about 14 yards to go. Jordan looking to throw. Completes it to Gilliard on the near sideline, and Gilliard is driven out of bounds at the 36-yard line. It is not enough for a 1st down, however, and Clemson will have to punt. Bill Jackson drove him out of bounds as Gilliard made the reception, but came up short. How about this one? Georgia Tech leading Notre Dame at halftime, 3-0.
Oh my! The Yellow Jackets were 1-7 coming into that game. That would be the upset of the year, along with that big one last week. where Alabama was upset.
Rich Hendley in to punt, averaging over 32 yards a kick. He had a bad one. Greg Poole calls for the fair catch and takes it at the 20-yard line. North Carolina gets the football back with 9 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the third quarter. They lead Clemson 17-6 after a punt of 44 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 20.
The TDK cassette reveals its reasons for recording excellence. TDK is more than just tape. It's a perfect interplay between tape and mechanism. Each part precision engineered for outstanding musical performance. No nuances beyond its dynamic range. No instrument is forgotten. Music lives on TDK. The TDK cassette. Tape is only part of the story. Music is the sum of its parts.
If you live in the city where car exhausts are a problem and you got 10,000 miles from our old air filter, you'll get 15,000 from the Fram Extra Lights. If you live in the country where dirt roads are a problem, you'll get, say, 7,500 miles instead of 5,000. That's because the Fram Extra Life has this extra outer filter that helps keep the inner filter clean. You get 50% more mileage than our old single Fram filter at no extra cost. So if you live in the desert where sand is a problem,
Friday, December 5th at 8 Eastern, your favorite television stars come out fighting in a 2-hour special. It's an all-new Battle of the Network Stars, December 5th on ABC.
A Clemson Cookie Monster in the stands.
It looks like it, doesn't it? I wonder if he has tiger paws, too.
I'm sure he does. Everybody here among the 63,000 seems to have tiger paws somewhere. And orange is the dominant color, but North Carolina blue is the dominant team today as Carolina leads 17-6. Amos Lawrence in at tailback along with Billy Johnson and Rod Elkins in the backfield for North Carolina. 1st and 10 from their own 20. Johnson bouncing off tacklers, still driving and picking up 5 yards after he was hit at the line of scrimmage. Big Billy Johnson finally stopped by Jack Kane, number 12, and a bunch of other folks. But he gains 5.
Billy Big Hoss Johnson. If his nickname is not Big Hoss, I think we better name him Big Hoss right now. He's 6'1", 250 pounds. He is a senior, and he is a definite pro prospect. They have a total of 8 seniors who are considered pro prospects by some of the scouts that I've talked to.
2nd down and 5. Johnson now has picked up 21 yards on 6 carries. Lawrence. Just a couple is all as the Clemson defense is looking for Amos Lawrence and wrap him up after a gain of 2 to the 27. It'll be 3rd down and about 3 yards to go. Danny Triplett, number 82, in on the stop along with 75 James Robinson for the Tiger defense.
Crossfire action in the backfield, and they tried to run the right side. They have been more effective running the left side.
Kelvin Bryant in a tailback as you saw Lawrence go out, and it is Bryant on 3rd down and 3 fighting for the 1st down. He needed to get across the 30 and he's very close. 66 Steve Durham, one of the first ones to get to him, along with 45 Jeff Davis. And it looks as if it might be a little short from where they've marked the football. It will depend, of course, on the placement of the chains. And they are bringing them across the field right now. If you look at Danny Ford, Clemson's 2nd-year coach. And we aren't going to be able to see, but we get an indication from Joe Glenn of Clemson that they have just inches to go.
There it is again, a game of inches. Who do you give the ball to when you've got you a 3rd and inches?
Well, Kelvin Bryant has, as you see, over 100 yards already this afternoon, and 55 of them came on one play. Now the Clemson fans come to their feet as they exhort their defense on 4th down, inches to go. Carolina going for it at their own 30-yard line. Johnson, I don't know if he made it. Very, very close. Elkins is indicating 1st down. Danny Triplett, 82, again, one of the first ones there, as there is a huge pileup, as you can see, in the middle of the defense. Clemson saying they stopped him. North Carolina saying he made it. But what counts is what the referee has to say.
That is an extremely controversial call. I just am very curious as to why the punting unit didn't come in on 4th and inches when you're this deep in your own territory and you have control of the game with a 17-6 lead. It is certainly out of character for Dick Crum.
It certainly is, and particularly with this much time remaining in the football game and playing on the road. They're going to measure once again, as you see, and as from the reaction of the Clemson team, they've stopped it.
Well, I think we're going to have to talk more about that decision, because that's the type of decision that costs the coach his job from time to time, when you choose to go for it on 4th and inches when you are deep in your own territory. Let's look. Even when you've got a fullback like Billy Big Hoss Johnson right here, it just is not playing the percentages. Now, he really took a lick, and it looks like the leader is none other than our pal linebacker Jeff Davis, number 45, who will hit you.
There are some of the defensive players for Clemson as Clemson goes on the attack. 1st and 10. McSwain takes the pitch. Inside the 20. Fumbles! North Carolina has it. McSwain had picked up more than enough for a first down, but fumbled the football, and North Carolina has recovered inside their own 15-yard line.
And those are the type of plays that save your job.
98, Lawrence Taylor made the hit, and it looked as if number 5, Steve Streeter, whom you see going off there, recovered the fumble for North Carolina. A big turnaround as the Clemson defense had just stopped North Carolina on 4th down and inches. They rip off a big gain, but fumble it right back to Carolina.
That's twice now where they have blown it deep in North Carolina's territory. They could be on the board 2 more times and actually leading in this football game.
It was a gain of 14 yards, but it's 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line for North Carolina. Johnson breaks through a big hole. Like a runaway train in that secondary. He's out to the 37-yard line. Billy Johnson breaking one for a first down. He's finally stopped by Willie Underwood in the secondary, number 20.
When you're a little bitty safety man, you don't like to see a big choo-choo train like this coming at you. Big Hoss Johnson, number 36. Going to come back, though.
Yes, there is a penalty marker down as Johnson was finally ridden to the ground, and it will be against North Carolina as they mark it off inside the 10-yard line. Illegal motion against North Carolina. The 5-yard mark-off will make it 1st down and 15 yards to go from the 10-yard line.
1st and 15. Will they throw deep in their own territory? Nothing would surprise me now. That was a very controversial play where Dick Crum elected to go for it on 4th down and inches in his own territory while he has a 17-6 lead.
We have 7:53 remaining in the 3rd quarter. North Carolina, 1st down, 15 yards to go at their own 10. Famous Amos spinning and getting to the 14 for a gain of 4 yards. The Clemson defense really looking for Amos. 29, Hollis Hall coming up to make the hit along with Jeff Davis, 45, and 12, Jack Kane.
The top play for the tailback, Famous Amos Lawrence, has been this one, the sprint draw, where he kind of picks his way. He can run straight ahead, he can run off tackle, or he can go wide. He elects to go wide. Look who's there again, number 45, Jeff Davis.
And he ripped him up. Lawrence again, straight ahead, power off the right side. Gets out to about the 17-yard line for a gain of 2 yards on the play. Chuck Rose, number 33, and 99, Jeff Bryant, combining for the stop. It'll be 3rd down and about 8 yards to go for North Carolina. And Amos is closing in on another 100-yard day, but he will leave for this play.
He is also closing in on his 4th consecutive 1,000-yard season. Only one other player, of course, in history has done that.
3rd down and 8 yards to go as Elkins rolls right. Throwing down the far sideline, it's completed to Richardson, but out of bounds. Incomplete. Richardson went up high for it, but came down out of bounds. Covered on the play by Andy Hedden, number 9.
John Richardson, number 19, the 2nd leading receiver on the Tar Heel team, is running his favorite cut, the sideline route. And let's watch the foot. Up he goes for the ball, and he is clearly going to land out of bounds. No question about that call.
Steve Streeter is on to punt. His only punt of the afternoon was 42 yards, and this is a beautiful high spiral. Billy Davis retreating to the 30-yard line. Trying to get to the outside, he cannot. Gets it back to about the 27, or rather 33-yard line is all. A 54-yard punt by Steve Streeter. Clemson has the football with 6:24 remaining in the 3rd quarter, but North Carolina has the lead.
Just say hello to a brand new world. It's just outside your door.
Now that Pan Am and National are one, we can take you from 25 U.S. cities to places all around the world with the kind of international service that's made us famous. One baggage check-in, one ticket, one airline. Pan Am.
Say hello to a brand new world. Say hello to Pan Am.
Well, it's knowing you can count on us. We're gonna get you where you're going near or far. It's knowing that we're trying hard. We're gonna take the worry out of renting cars. It's knowing Avis has the cars, the service, and the rates you want, so you will find. At Avis, you're leaving your worries behind.
The National Operating Committee on Standards for Athletic Equipment is dedicated to the development of safe athletic equipment through scientific research and laboratory testing. The NCAA and other athletic organizations are supporting members of NOCSE.
6:24 to go in the third quarter as Clemson takes over after a 54-yard punt by Steve Streeter.
It was a beauty.
First and 10 Clemson at their own 34-yard line. Jordan to pass. Eluding the pressure, gets it away. It's complete. Magwood, Frank Magwood, number 2, has it, and Magwood fights for yardage into North Carolina territory. Frank Magwood, a sophomore from Johns Island, South Carolina, tackled by 49 Lee Schaffer in the secondary. Magwood will come out, but it's a first down for Clemson.
Magwood, who has replaced now the injured Perry Tuttle. Let's watch. Sprint out to the right. Jordan is going to scramble back to his left, throws on the dead run, and let's watch Magwood, who does a good job of getting back into the pattern to assist his quarterback on the scramble play, and a super effort after he catches the football.
From the 49-yard line of North Carolina, McSwain breaks free. McSwain fumbles. North Carolina recovers once again. North Carolina recovers at their own 30-yard line after McSwain had ripped off another big game.
You know, McSwain today has been like a good news, bad news joke. You know, the good news is that he's running like heck. The bad news is that he's not holding onto the football.
Lawrence Taylor knocked it loose, and Lee Schaffer, number 49, recovered, and you see Schaffer on the sideline. Again, turnovers have really hurt Clemson, and they seem to come, Cupper, whenever they've had good games and good drives going.
And when they've had excellent field position. Right when they've been knocking out the door, apparently, they lose the football.
With that carry, a gain of 19 yards, McSwain goes over 116 yards for the afternoon, but he gives up the football to North Carolina. Billy Johnson running hard. Johnson getting it out to the 38-yard line. Tackled by Jack Kane, number 12 and 66, Steve Durham.
This man is a hoss.
Maybe a hoss and a half.
Perhaps. Maybe a hoss and 3/4.
I don't know who got the better of that, Kane or Johnson. Nonetheless, it's a gain of 8 yards. It's second down and 2 yards to go. Lawrence picks up a first down and then some as he gets it out to the 44-yard line of North Carolina. Jeff Davis, 45, again on the tackle for the Tiger defense, along with Rod McSwain, number 28, the brother of Clemson's running back.
That is what has kept the Tar Heels in control today. Good tackle-to-tackle running with the fullback and the tailback. Billy Johnson, famous Amos Lawrence, Kelvin Bryant.
And as you see, Lawrence is close to another 100-yard day. First and 10, North Carolina. Lawrence again. Amos has 100 yards, and he has more as he runs over the umpire and a few Tiger defenders and gets it into Clemson territory at the 44-yard line. 77, Dan Benish, making the tackle and getting some help.
Over the 100-yard mark goes famous Amos Lawrence on the key play for the tailback, the blaster isolation play off tackle. You saw the lead block by the fullback, Johnson. And once again, the good work by a couple of premier offensive linemen, Donnelly, number 51, and Wooten, number 78.
Lawrence now with 108 yards. Bryant has 111 yards, and McSwain has 116 for Clemson. This is Bryant, and Bryant is inside the 40-yard line of Clemson.
Well, they are called the best tandem of tailbacks in America, and I wouldn't argue with it. I can't think of a team that has two tailbacks that proficient. Can you?
Not this year.
Nope.
4 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third quarter. North Carolina 17-6 over Clemson. Jeff Davis, incidentally, has already made 20 tackles for the Clemson defense today.
Would you say that he is a candidate for the Chevy MVP?
I would think so. Kelvin Bryant again, near the 35-yard line of Clemson. He'll be a couple of yards short of the first down, however. It'll be third down and about 2 yards to go. 58, Charlie Bauman, the nose guard, a senior from Runnymede, New Jersey, made the tackle.
You know, the strange part of the Charlie Bauman story is that the only time he ever intercepted a pass for Clemson was that time in the Gator Bowl. And you remember what happened after that interception? He got the left hook heard around the world.
That's for sure. Lawrence, who is out of the game right now, is nearing 900 yards for the season. This is Bryant. And Bryant picks up a first down as he gets to the 32-yard line of Clemson. Number 82, Danny Triplett, making the tackle. It's another first down for the Tar Heels as they continue to control the football and have taken advantage of Clemson turnovers to maintain ball control.
They have indeed controlled the football. No passes on this drive. All basically tackle-to-tackle running. They've utilized Billy Johnson up the gut, and they've used their tailback off tackle.
We're nearing
Lawrence.
Excuse me, Cupper. We're nearing exactly 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Bryant again. Bryant inside the 20-yard line. Tripped up and down at about the 18. They'll mark it at the 17-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 once again for North Carolina. 29 Hollis Hall again had to make the tackle in the secondary.
You've heard the expression run to daylight. He didn't even have to run to daylight. The daylight was already there. They mowed him down on the left side that time.
It's a gain of 15 yards and a first down for North Carolina. Bryant, as you see, going off with almost 140 yards already. Johnson, Billy Johnson driving inside the 10 to the 8-yard line and dragging tacklers with him. 51, Tad Hauser, a freshman from Cincinnati, one of those tacklers, along with 29 Hollis Hall once again.
Billy Johnson climbing up there in the stats now. 9 carries for 37 yards. This is a nice look from ground level. Let's see if we can see the surge along the left side as Billy Johnson takes the handoff and just follows in behind his left guard, Ron Wooten, number 78.
I wonder if he's ever fallen backward after being tackled.
Has he ever lost a yard?
I don't know.
Steve Zabriskie never lost a yard for Houston.
Never gained one either. Johnson again inside the 5 down to the 2-yard line.
Johnson, the ball carrier.
Jack Kane, number 12, drags him down as Billy Big Hoss, as Scupper has named him, Johnson, drives close to that goal line. They'll mark it at the 3.
All right, Big Hoss again. There it is. It's a trap play this time, straight up the gut. And you know what impresses me about him is not only his size and his strength, but he is quick getting off the ball.
And there you see his stats so far as they've gone to Johnson more and more. We have a minute 40 left in the third quarter. North Carolina threatening Lawrence. Touchdown, North Carolina. From 3 yards out, famous Amos Lawrence adds to his yardage and touchdown records as he takes it in to make it 23-6. North Carolina over Clemson near the end of the third quarter.
Normally you would call this north and south running. In this stadium, we'll call it east and west. Nevertheless, be that as it may, that is the way to run for the end zone.
North Carolina using straight ahead running most of the time. Going off tackle is about as wide as they've gotten on this drive. And now Hayes is in to attempt another extra point. And it's good. 1 minute and 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter. North Carolina now has jumped out to a 24-6 lead over Clemson. That drive, an impressive 70-yarder, taking them only 10 plays.
That is the type of drive that will silence a crowd and really take the starch out of a football team. Clemson has really blown some opportunities today. Costly mistakes.
Yes, they have. Here's what's coming up next here on ABC as our doubleheader of NCAA college football action continues for you. Depending on where you live in our region, you'll see either USC Stanford or Virginia Tech against Florida State. Be sure to stay tuned for the second half of our doubleheader today here on ABC. That was Amos Lawrence's 29th career touchdown and his second of the afternoon. Five yards for offsides against Clemson is marked off on the kickoff, and so Hayes will kick it off from his own 45. There's the scoring drive for North Carolina. Hayes tees the ball up as you look at the orange and the tiger paws that are hanging out all over the stadium. Almost 63,000 on hand, and they're trying to exhort their Tigers on as they have fallen behind by 18 points as we near the end of the third quarter. And Hayes line drives it past the end line. It'll be 1st and 10 Clemson at their own 20-yard line with 1:35 remaining in the third quarter. Big difference in rushing cover. North Carolina really controlling the ground game.
That has been the story right there, because, you know, when we looked at the halftime stats, it had gotten practically up to even, and now the Tar Heels have taken charge again. Have we gotten a report yet on Perry Tuttle? The early report was that he had bruised ribs, and as yet he has not returned here in the second half, and that has made a difference.
1st and 10 Clemson at their own 20. Jordan under pressure. Gets away. Picks up 5 yards to the 25-yard line as he totally improvised that play. Lee Schaffer, number 49, finally dragged him down, but number 76, Donnell Thompson, was all over him in the backfield. Jordan did a good job to get away from Thompson.
This is why Homer Jordan, number 3, is leading his team in total offense. And most of his yards have come on precisely this kind of a play, the scramble play.
He turned an apparent loss into a 5-yard gain. It's 2nd down 5. Clemson at their own 25. Jordan wants to put it up again. He does, and completes it on the far sideline to Stockstill. Stockstill is driven out of bounds by number 32, Greg Poole. It appears to have enough for a 1st down, and apparently we have a little altercation on the sideline after the play. As Stockstill was driven out of bounds by Poole, and picked up apparently enough for a 1st down for Clemson at the 37-yard line of the Tigers. Dead ball foul, a personal foul called against North Carolina. After the play, a dead ball foul will be marked off from the spot of the infraction and will move it into North Carolina territory to the 48-yard line of the Tar Heels.
Stockstill filling in now for Perry Tuttle, who, as we mentioned, the early report was that he had bruised ribs. That has been confirmed now. The ribs are badly bruised. Apparently he will not return to the football game here in the second half, and that is a loss for the Tigers.
There's our score with 47 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Clemson, with the help of a 15-yard penalty, moves it into North Carolina territory, 1st and 10 at the 48. Jordan setting up the screen and completing it. Out of the backfield, number 8, Wilbur Bullard, but a penalty marker is down. As Bullard picks up short yardage, well, 6 or 7 on the play. But we have an illegal receiver downfield on the part of Clemson. 49 Lee Schaffer made the tackle along with 29 Darrell Nicholson, but the penalty will be against Clemson.
If the ball is caught behind the neutral zone, that would not have been illegal. However, the receiver was beyond the neutral zone, so therefore those receivers downfield would be illegal.
And that is the call, and they will move it back to the 37-yard line of Clemson. 40 seconds now remaining. It'll be 1st down and 25 yards to go. So instead of being at the North Carolina 48, Clemson is at their own 37 with a 1st and 25. Jordan wants to throw again as time fires over the middle and completes it to Stockstill. And Stockstill picks up a big gain to the 42-yard line of North Carolina. Tackled by Steve Streeter, number 5 in the secondary. They got about 20 of those 25 yards back in a hurry. A gain of 21.
Well, Perry Tuttle is out, but Jeff Stockstill is doing an outstanding job of filling in at that flanker position. Homer Jordan taking his time, really showing a lot of poise there, and finding Stockstill wide open down the middle.
2nd down and about 4 yards to go. McSwain Straight ahead. McCall, rather, the fullback, not McSwain. Gets it to the 38-yard line. Paul Davis, number 34, makes the tackle. That's the end of the third quarter. North Carolina leading Clemson 24-6. We'll return and continue after this commercial message and a word from our local stations.
Hey, you want to meet a guy who's really in deep water? He's on top of what's going to be the largest Texaco offshore rig ever. It's off the coast of Scotland, and it costs around $500 million. When it's fully operational, it'll be able to deliver almost 4 million gallons of oil a day. Will that help America? It sure will. Because in the North Sea or here at home, finding oil anywhere reduces dependence everywhere. Texaco, we're working to keep your trust.
Steve, a little one-on-one. I have to do some yard work. For a Michelob Light. I don't have to do any yard work.
Would good friends really go at it this hard just for a beer? Well, consider it's Michelob Light, and that means a rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
102 to 98. How did you do it? Defense?
Michelob Light. Compare the taste.
ABC's World News Tonight. We bring the world closer to you.
Give me that Southern life.
The new Ray Inn has been a welcome home to Southern mountain travelers for generations. It's part of the charm of Southern living, and one of the reasons why Southern Life Insurance is constantly developing new and better plans and policies to ensure that you and your family will always have the means to enjoy the Southern life.
Give me that Southern life.
America moves by truck, and Piedmont Ford Truck is your total sales and service center. At Piedmont Salvage, we have plenty of used parts. At Piedmont Electronics, we recondition hundreds of them, from starters to alternators. As for tires, we got them and can computer spin balance them. We also align front ends and even have 24-hour road service. At Piedmont Ford Truck, we're committed to keeping America's trucks on the road.
WGHP TV8, High Point, Greensboro, Winston-Salem.
League Rose Cup as we welcome you back to Clemson Memorial Stadium here in Clemson, South Carolina, with North Carolina leading Clemson 24-6 as we start the fourth quarter and we take a look at our third quarter stats.
And you can see how that running game, once again by North Carolina, has really gotten the Tar Heels back in charge. 285 yards rushing to 155 of Clemson. That gets them back in the lead now in total yards, 312 to 303, and once again dominating in time of possession.
From the 38, third down, 1 yard to go. Jordan trying to sneak it for the first down. And again, the officials called timeout to unpile them and take a look at it. Harry Standback, 94, and 49 Lee Schaffer in there defensively for North Carolina, with help from the ever-present others.
And others. And how about whole host?
A whole host of tacklers.
Whole host always gets in.
They're going to measure once again as you look at Danny Ford on the Clemson sideline, who has seen his Tigers move the football but cough it up. It is a first down for Clemson. In the third quarter, Georgia leading Florida 17-10.
Buck Ballou passing and Herschel Walker running, I'll bet. My goodness. That's not too surprising, though.
Pittsburgh with a smaller than expected lead.
Yes.
Over Louisville.
Very close.
First and 10, Clemson. From the 37-yard line of North Carolina. Number 8, Wilbur Bullard. Bullard getting to the outside and finally driven out of bounds. Tyrus Bratton wrestled him out of bounds near the 20-yard line of North Carolina. It's another Clemson first down as Bullard, the 165-pound freshman from Laurel Hill, North Carolina, rips off 18.
Oh, he's quick. Danny Ford told us about him yesterday, and he smiled. He likes this young freshman right here, Wilbur Bullard. Look at that quickness.
They mark it at the 20. We have an injured player, however, and it appears that it is Jeff Stockstill, number 15 of Clemson. As you look at the Penn State, North Carolina State score. And Baylor putting it on Arkansas. That was Wilbur Bullard's first carry this year, and he ripped off 18 and a first down. Jordan to throw from the Carolina 20. Completes it to Magwood at the 10-yard line. Magwood driving down to the 6. play, however, as he really took a hit. Larry Winters, number 48, and Greg Poole, number 32, are over there. It's a gain of 14 and a first down, but Magwood, as you see, is hurt.
Homer Jordan really rifles this football. Sprint out to the left, and he's looking for Magwood along the left sidelines. Frank Magwood, who's filling in now for the injured Perry Tuttle, runs the sideline cut. His foot is in bounds, but he really gets a shot right here. He gets shot twice.
14:29 left in the game. We'll be back in a minute.
Chevy Truck announces a leap ahead in fuel economy. A leap ahead with a better EPA estimated gas mileage rating than any V8 truck. And better than any imported or domestic V8 car. What's more, Chevy is a leap ahead with the best overall 6-cylinder truck mileage. Chevy has an unbeaten city estimate and a better highway rating than any full-size truck. Best V8 gas mileage, best overall 6-cylinder mileage. Chevy's new special economy truck. Chevy Trucks. Built tough. Built for economy.
Someday, a little light will stretch across the country. Light in hair-thin glass fibers will carry extraordinary amounts of words, numbers, and pictures. The Bell system led in this technology. Today, we're installing Lightwave systems throughout the country. They'll provide excellent quality for voice, data, and TV communications. So in the future, economical Lightwave systems will help us meet almost any communications need. The Bell system, keeping your communications system the best in the world.
ABC's Wide World of Sports returns Saturday, December 13th with an exciting collection of international championships and events here on the sports leader, ABC.
North Carolina leading, but Clemson driving and looking to come back here in the fourth quarter. Plenty of time remaining. 14 minutes, 29 seconds left in the game. Following the completion to Magwood, who left the field with the wind knocked out of him. He is expected to return. It is first and goal for Clemson at the 6-yard line of North Carolina. Jordan fumbles the snap but falls forward to about the 3-yard line. Homer Jordan losing the snap from center, but picking up some yardage. Darrell Nicholson, 29, and number 93, Calvin Daniels, made the tackle on him.
A simple thing like the center snap can be so important. Now watch what happens. Homer Jordan is not concentrating right here with his hands, and he pulls back prematurely. And when he does that, you must ride the center. It's so important that you ride that center forward, and he doesn't do it. However, opportunistically, he turns it into a 2-yard gain.
Second and goal from the 4. On the option, Jordan, touchdown! From 4 yards out, Homer Jordan takes it in on the option to make it 24-12, North Carolina, with 13:35 remaining in the game. And Obed Ariri is on to attempt the extra point. Here it is again.
This young man is an athlete. Good call on the option play and good timing. And watch this. He reaches the ball over the goal line. That's all it has to be.
And he looked right at that official to be sure he was signaling a touchdown. That's Jordan's 3rd touchdown running this year. And now we're going to go for 2. Penalty marker, and they may have taken too much time in attempting to go for 2. Even though the clock is stopped, they still only have the allotted time to get the play underway. And it is delay of game against Clemson. That makes it a lot tougher to go for 2. It's 24-12, and you can see why they want to go for 2.
So does Obed come back in?
And Danny Ford now wants him to call a timeout. And they do. Stockstill calling the timeout. Clemson will take a timeout. They still aren't sure what they're going to do. Danny Ford quite upset that they did not get the play off in time. Signaled for them to call a timeout, and let's talk it over now that we have about 8 yards to go instead of 3 to pick up a 2-point conversion. Danny Ford talking to the coaches up here high in the stands and talking also to Homer Jordan at the same time. Clemson, Cupper, has really moved the football well, and especially on this drive, but in the past, particularly in the second half, as we look at their scoring drive of 80 yards and only 9 plays. If it had not been for those fumbles, a couple of which came after big first down gains,
they could very easily be leading this football game right now by the score of 26-24. I think we're going to see the 2-point play, and should we do that, what I look for is some type of a rollout pass with a crossing action where he will have the choice of multiple receivers and the possibility also of running it in himself.
They have apparently straightened out the situation, and I'm sure that Danny Ford would not really want to take that timeout had he not felt he had to, because he might need those later on. And again, we remind you, the second half of our doubleheader, depending on where you live in our region here today, you'll see either USC against Stanford or Virginia Tech against Florida State. Some of the top teams in the country is the second half of our NCAA doubleheader here on ABC.
Certainly two of the premier passing teams in the country, Florida State and Stanford.
They're going for it from the 8-yard line for a 2-point conversion following the penalty. Jordan looking into the end zone and throwing it too high. Incomplete, intended for number 17, Joey Smith, who has entered a wide receiver in place of Magwood. And so the 2-point conversion attempt fails. It's 24-10, North Carolina. A lot of time left, though. 13:35. Stay with us.
You give a man a couple of days to himself and a Black & Decker workmate, and there's almost nothing he can't do. You can pound on it, saw on it, hammer on it, and sand on it. The sturdy vice jaws do the holding for you. You can clamp on it, paint on it, cut a shape on it, drive a screw on it. There's almost nothing you can't do. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
You know, Fireman's Fund always reminds you, look for the sign of the independent insurance agent. We do it with cheering sections and puzzles and fireworks, even a marching band. But no matter how we show it, look for it. Because for someone who works for you, who gets the best policy and price, you'll never find a better place to hang your hat. In the Yellow Pages, Fireman's Fund Insurance Companies.
The Atlantic Coast Conference, now in its 28th year of operation, conducts championships for student athletes in 16 different sports. 11 team champions are crowned in competition for the men, while 5 are staged for the women.
Obidariri will kick it off for Clemson as North Carolina now leads 24-12. Back deep to receive, number 45 is Mark Smith, who is one of the 2 deep receivers, along with Victor Harrison, number 9, both standing on the goal line. And I don't know whether they're going to try for the onside kick or not. They do not. As Ariri kicks it away, taken at the 5-yard line by Mark Smith. Smith driving it out across the 25, getting out to the 27-yard line on a pretty good return. It'll be 1st and 10, North Carolina, with 13:30 left in the game. Nick Bauman, number 57, made the tackle.
Look how Clemson has dominated the passing stats. Homer Jordan is hot today. He is 9 of 13 for 162 yards passing.
1st and 10, North Carolina. As sophomore Rod Elkins leads them up. Billy Johnson, and Johnson is stopped for no gain, may have even lost a yard. Great defense. Chuck Rose, number 33, was blitzing on the play and got help from number 75, James Robinson.
Back to plan A. That's what Danny Ford told us, is that they wanted to shut down the inside running game, take away Billy Big Hoss Johnson. They were not able to do that. That set it up for the tailback, and mostly North Carolina has had their way running the football.
2nd down, 11 yards to go. Elkins sprinting out. Looking for running room. Gets between 2 defenders and picks up a couple of extra yards. Chuck Rose again makes the tackle for the Tiger defense. The gain is to the 33-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 3 yards to go. Big play for both North Carolina and Clemson as the Tigers want the football back. Amos Lawrence is in at tailback, number 20, and Amos has the ball. And Amos is stopped. At the 35-yard line, 71, Dan Benish. Number 12, Jack Kane, coming up from the secondary. Stop Amos Lawrence at the 35-yard line after a gain of 1. It'll be 4th down and 2.
Watch a real kiss right here at the line of scrimmage. There's Benish and a whole host of tacklers. I saw Jeff Davis's number again, too. That guy is busy.
45 was there again. And 4th down, North Carolina will kick it away as we've got a glimpse there of Dick Crum, the head coach of North Carolina. Clemson wanting the football back. Steve Streeter, who's averaging 43 yards per kick on the season, hits it away. Billy Davis takes it at the 24. Davis to the 29-yard line. A return of 5. 11:44 left to play in the football game. Clemson getting the football back as Jimbo Harrell, number 53, a junior from Burgaw, North Carolina, made the tackle. A punt of 41 yards by Streeter.
Well, that fickle player, Momentum, is now wearing tiger paws.
That's right. Along with 63,000 other folks around here, practically. There are a goodly number of North Carolina fans here, however. Clemson 1st and 10 at their own 29. McCall, the fullback. And McCall slips and falls when he had some running room. And he got out to the 35-yard line, a gain of about 5 yards on the play. They'll mark it at the 34. It'll be 2nd down and about 6.5 yards to go.
Well, we've talked about Big Hoss Johnson. McCall isn't exactly what you'd call a small fullback. He's 6'3", 225 pounds. Excellent lead blocker and tough, durable inside runner.
2nd down and a long 6. The reverse pivot. Jordan opening up a big hole, and Homer Jordan has a 1st down out to the 46-yard line. Paul Davis, number 34, making the tackle.
Sweet Homer Jordan with the fast feet. I'll tell you, look at this. Now, you want to see a cut? Watch the left foot right there and how he moves upfield. He saw daylight and he went for it.
A gain of 11 yards and another 1st down for Clemson as the Tigers here in the late part of the 3rd quarter and early part of this 4th quarter have really come back to life and are moving the football. Just outside their own 45. Jordan to pass. Under pressure and drop at the 36-yard line of Clemson. Number 93, Calvin Daniels, and number 76, Donnell Thompson. 2 of the best around put the pressure on Jordan and dropped him for a big loss.
2 players that, well, as Steve Zabriskie just put it, 2 of the best around. Daniels and Thompson. Donnell Thompson, number 76. All 260 pounds of him arrived right on schedule.
The clock continues to run with 10:10 left to go in the game. That may be Clemson's biggest problem. It is now 2nd down and 19 yards to go as Jordan drops back. Under pressure again as the blitz is on. Gets it away and completes it. Very near a 1st down into North Carolina territory at the 44-yard line. Jeff Stockstill coming up with another big clutch reception. Steve Streeter made the tackle in the North Carolina secondary, but Stockstill is close to a 1st down.
Play action pass. Jordan fakes the sprint run. Now watch the time. It's good right there. He makes a move, shows nice escape dimension as he moves to his right. Now watch Jeff Stockstill, number 15, who just curls back in from his wide receiver position, finds the open area, and the ball arrives right on target.
A gain of 20 yards on the play as you look at Jeff Stockstill, whose brother plays quarterback for Florida State.
He'll be putting it up later on today.
That's right. That's one of our 2 games coming up following this one, Florida State and VPI.
Here's a better look at the last play as we see Homer Jordan scrambling to his right and firing that ball on the dead run. That is a picture-perfect curl in while throwing on the move.
Lee Schaffer, number 49, was blitzing, and Jordan just did avoid him. 9:53 remaining in the game. 1st and 10. Clemson at the North Carolina 44. Bullard, number 8, the ball carrier, and Bullard picks up a couple of yards. Maybe none. Maybe a half, depending on where they mark it. Donnell Thompson and Harry Standback in on the play defensively for North Carolina. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Big 2nd and 10 play as Homer Jordan has these Tigers moving.
McCall. And McCall breaks free and has a first down as he gets to the 33-yard line of North Carolina.
The Tigers are having it their way right now. Inside, outside, and upstairs. They are doing it. They are moving the football. And watch McCall once again. Just a straight base fullback play where he follows right behind the right guard. And what makes it work, once again, the surge of that offensive line by the Tigers.
McCall picked up 11 yards. Another first down from the 33-yard line of North Carolina. Jordan wants to put it up again. And again, he's under some pressure. And again, he gets away. Runs into his own man, however, but gets ahead to the 30-yard line for a gain of about 3 yards. Lee Schaffer, 49, again on the tackle. And now, Janelle Thompson, 76, gets into it a little bit with one of the Clemson offensive linemen, and a penalty marker goes down.
He gets into it with Brian Clark, the offensive guard, who's not too small. That's a bad guy to mess around with.
It's against North Carolina, as you see. And they will mark off a big 15 yards down to the 15-yard line of the Tar Heels, and Clemson will have another first down. And look at this one. In the third quarter, Georgia Tech still leading Notre Dame 3-0. In the fourth quarter, Georgia and Florida, another of our ABC regionals, 20-18, Georgia over Florida. In the first quarter, Alabama leads LSU 14-0 in a big one in the Southeastern Conference. At halftime, Ohio State leading Illinois as expected, 28-7. And Pittsburgh now has increased that lead over Louisville 20-9 at halftime. Here it is, 1st and 10 Clemson as the Tigers battle back with 8.5 minutes remaining in the game. 1st and 10 from the North Carolina 15. Jordan fires it incomplete. A penalty marker is down. Interference intended for Frank Magwood inside the 5-yard line, and a penalty marker is thrown. Lee Schaffer, 49, was covering on the play. Magwood, the intended receiver. It is interference against North Carolina. Clemson gets another break and gets the ball inside the 5. Streeter and Magwood having some words over the play.
As well they might.
It has been a very intense, hard-hitting game, as you might have noted from the bruises and bumps and injuries we've had so far today, and also the 2 or 3 altercations between players that have erupted, albeit mild altercations, thankfully. Another penalty.
Another flag.
And again, North Carolina is going to be called for unsportsmanlike conduct. A non-contact foul, a dead ball foul, will move it half the distance to the goal. North Carolina not helping themselves at all, Cupper, as Clemson is trying to come back. With 8:22 remaining in the game, there you see the non-contact foul indicated against North Carolina. That will move it down to about the 1.5-yard line, where it'll be 1st and goal for Clemson. 24-12, North Carolina leading. And there's the penalty situation, almost equal.
Almost equal in a lot of ways. Clemson has the lead now in first downs, 19-17. They definitely have the better of it upstairs. However, on the ground, North Carolina still dominates. But here late in the ball game, as we're 8:22 remaining, the Tigers definitely have the momentum going for them.
And Homer Jordan now has set a new total offense record for a sophomore here at Clemson with 1,442 yards on the year. He wants the crowd to quiet as it is 1st and goal from the 1.5-yard line. Did he make it in? Apparently not. Wilbur Bullard, the ball carrier, appears to be short of the goal line as he dove for that end zone and comes up inches short. It'll be 2nd down and goal. Lee Schaffer, 49, one of the first North Carolina defenders there to drop Bullard.
That previous sophomore record, of course, that you mentioned, was held by Steve Fuller. And when you talk about breaking a record set by Steve Fuller, you're talking about one heck of an athlete.
There is Danny Ford on the sideline of Clemson as the clock continues to run with 7 minutes and 38 seconds. 2nd and goal. Bullard again. Touchdown, Clemson. Wilbur Bullard, number 8, his first career touchdown.
This is the base play out of the power I formation, the blast or isolation play to the tailback, fullback leading, surge by the line, touchdown Tigers.
Obed Ariri on to attempt yet another extra point. He's perfect as usual. 7:36 remaining in the football game, and Clemson has driven to get back into it. North Carolina 24, Clemson 19. We'll be back in just a minute.
You know, I love the fresh, clean smell of barley because I can almost taste the Schlitz beer I'm going to make from it. I'm Frank Sellinger. Recently, I came to Schlitz as chief executive. Mostly, I check on the business end. But after 40 years as a master brewer, I check the barley, too, and the other fine grains to make a really smooth beer. Taste my Schlitz.
Goodyear took the radial tire and made it right for American drivers by making it all season. Built for sun, rain, snow. Radials that are good all year from Goodyear. Goodyear has more experience making all-season radials than anyone else in the world. So why buy a conventional radial when you can step all the way up to Goodyear all-season radials? Goodyear, quality and innovation.
Another look at that last play will show you the tailback, Wilbur Bullard, number 8, just follows behind his fullback on the base play. He rushed for over 1,700 yards as a senior in high school last year. However, this is his first touchdown for Clemson.
Clemson now has come back with an 80-yard drive and this a 70-yard drive to get back into this ball game 24-19. And there you look at this most recent drive, as they only took 9 plays to go 70 yards, and Obed Ariri will kick it off for Clemson. Back deep to receive Delbert Powell, number 39, and Mark Smith, number 45. Smith will take it at the 10-yard line and returns it to about the 27. Mark Smith runs it out, and 63,000 Clemson fans are on their feet, exhorting their defense on. They want that football back with 7.5 minutes to go. And this, as far as the Atlantic Coast Conference is concerned, Pepper, could be a big 7.5 minutes.
Big, big shootout. Remember that North Carolina was a 6.5-point favorite coming into today's game. They led the Atlantic Coast Conference, still do lead it. However, an upset could hurt their chances.
Elkins to throw on 1st and 10. Now he's going to run it and drag down at the 27-yard line. Number 51, Tad Hauser, the defensive end, a freshman out of Cincinnati, Ohio, with a big defensive play. Only the North Carolina fans that are in attendance are not standing up.
Tad Hauser, number 51, comes up and really forces this play. Look, he runs right by a blocker and goes low for the quarterback, Rod Elkins, number 10. Big play by Hauser.
A gain of about a half a yard on the play. It's 2nd down, North Carolina. Lawrence goes nowhere.
The emotional energy in this stadium is so thick right now, you could cut it with a knife.
Jeff Bryant, making the tackle, Steve Durham.
This is the best way to shut down famous Amos Lawrence. Right there, the tailback blast-off tackle, and he gets a lot of company. Not the kind of company he would like, necessarily.
No gain on the play. It is 3rd down and about 9.5 yards to go. Elkins on the sprint out. Knocked down. Willie Underwood, number 20, knocks the intended pass down. Intended for Richardson on the near sideline. It'll be 4th and 9.5. And Clemson will get the football back.
Willie Underwood, who had 42 tackles coming into today's game, shows you that he is also capable on coverage as he bats that ball down with authority from his strong safety position.
Steve Streeter, who has kicked 154, hits it, and Billy Davis will take it and fumbles it at the 29. But falls on it. Davis recovering his own fumble. It'll be 1st and 10 Clemson at their own 29-yard line. 6 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the football game. North Carolina holding on to a 24-19 lead, and the Clemson fans are going bananas.
Yes, honey, I'll have a good dinner. Gotta go.
Tough case, huh?
Tough ain't the word.
Perez is back from Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'm starving. Why Kentucky Fried Chicken?
It's a hard case. My men deserve a fresh hot meal.
Great chicken.
Great price.
Anything else?
His wife will kill him if he doesn't eat right.
It's so nice, nice to feel so good about a meal, so good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Cellini Cologne for the man who loves life. Cellini Cologne for men, created in Italy by Fabergé.
The Tar Heels haven't lost their spirit either, as you see their cheerleaders working on the sideline, but the North Carolina crowd is far overwhelmed by the hometown Clemson fans who are making, and we don't need to tell you, a lot of noise.
I hear it.
Steve Streeter's 44-yard punt will give Clemson a 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line. 6:06 remaining in the game. North Carolina with a 5-point lead here in the 4th quarter. McCall and Bullard in the backfield behind Jordan. Bullard, the ball carrier, spinning, breaking tackles, getting to the outside, to the 40-yard line.
I want to tell you something. That young man has the makings of a future superstar. You talked about those full spinners by famous Amos Lawrence. We saw 2 of them on that play. 2 360-degree turns. Let's watch once again. Number 8, Bullard, the freshman. Look, there's a 360. There it is again. Great run. I called him a freshman. Let's make him a sophomore. Huh?
1st and 10 at the 40-yard line of Clemson. On the option, Bullard again. Gets 2 to the 42-yard line before he's driven out of bounds. Lee Schaffer again, 49, will be able to make the defensive play for North Carolina. North Carolina with 294 yards rushing in the game, 295, excuse me, as you see. They only have 10 yards in the 4th quarter.
Tigers have truly taken charge here in the 4th quarter, and it started really in the 3rd quarter. It started to turn around late in the 3rd quarter.
2nd down, 8 yards to go at the 42-yard line of Clemson. Jordan to pass. Lots of time. Over the middle and incomplete off the hands of Frank Magwood, the intended receiver. It'll be 3rd down and 8 yards to go. Clemson at their own 42.
Magwood was the short man over the middle, but deep downfield was number 15 wide open. And should he come back and report that to his quarterback, they may come back with the same play.
And you might expect them to be throwing on 3rd down and 8. As into the game comes number 17, Joey Smith, at wide receiver out of Newport News, Virginia. Here's our second games for our region. You'll be seeing either USC, Stanford, or Virginia Tech and Florida State. Clemson 2 out of 10 on 3rd down conversions. It is 3rd down and 8. Jordan with lots of time. Complete. Penalty marker goes down as Stockstill makes the reception at midfield, but a penalty marker is down. It is interference against North Carolina. 1st down, Clemson. Greg Poole, number 32, was covering Stockstill. Stockstill did a good job covering to come up with the football.
He didn't need to make the catch, but you've heard the term hand-eye coordination. Watch this. Watch the concentration by number 15, Rick Stockstill, as Jordan takes his time, fires back here along the sideline. Here is the interference right there, but look at the concentration as he comes up with the catch. Great play by Stockstill.
The ball is wide at midfield. It is 1st and 10, Clemson. 5 minutes and 12 seconds remain in the football game, with North Carolina leading 24-19. Jordan to pass on 1st and 10. The blitz has him. Greg Poole, number 32, blitzing in on Jordan and dropping him back near the 40-yard line of Clemson. They'll mark it at the 42-yard line. It'll be a loss of 8 yards on the play.
This is what a blitz looks like. There is such a thing as a blind side when you're a quarterback. Hello. Number 32, Greg Poole.
Jerry Gilliard was down deep, running to the flag, and was open. But Jordan had no time to get the football to him. Second down, 18 yards to go. Jordan under pressure again. Hauled down for another loss back inside the 40-yard line as the Carolina Blue defense rises to the occasion. Donnell Thompson, number 76, in to make the big play.
There is a man who has made big plays all afternoon. Number 76, one of the premier down linemen in America. He is 6'5", 260 pounds. He lost 13 pounds. He was playing as heavy as 270. He feels that losing that 13 pounds has really augmented his quickness.
The ball is now at the 37-yard line of Clemson. It is third down and 23 yards to go for the Tigers. Jordan to pass again, and he's under pressure. And he's thrown back inside the 25. Number 98, Lawrence Taylor, with another big defensive play for North Carolina.
That is the man who some people say is as good as Hugh Green. They play the same position. Hugh Green wears number 99. Lawrence Taylor, who you see here, wears number 98. Watch his pursuit and his intensity. He wanted to get to the quarterback on that play.
Rich Headley is in to punt, averaging 35 yards per kick this afternoon, well below his season average. Greg Poole is deep to receive for the Tar Heels. And he'll let it bounce. And it hit a player. Clemson has the football. Clemson has recovered the football at the 37. Number 23 for Clemson comes up with the football. Jeff Suttle. The ball hit number 35, Rocky White, and Tuttle recovered for Clemson. A punt of 39 yards, but Clemson gets the football back. First and 10 at the 38-yard line of North Carolina.
This might be the biggest break of the afternoon for the Tigers. Here is a good hang-time punt. Let's see where it actually hits. Did you see the hit?
Not on the replay, but I did on live action, and it hit number 35, Rocky White, who attempted to recover it, but there you see Suttle, who recovered it. Clemson, with 2 timeouts remaining, 3 minutes and 4 seconds on the clock. They trail by 5. First and 10 from the North Carolina 38. Jordan rolling out, firing it, complete to Michael.
Oh, these guys are hot. Homer Jordan is red hot in this fourth quarter. He's throwing that ball with a lot of authority. Throwing to a lot of different receivers and throwing on the move both to his right and his left. Magwood down 15 to 18 yards on a curl-in route. And look at him go up for that football. Great throw, great catch. And right now, the Tigers are down there knocking at the door. Actually, they can take their time with this touchdown.
A gain of 25 yards. First and 10 from the North Carolina 13-yard line. On the counter option, Bullard running hard and getting down to the 7-yard line. Steve Streeter, number 5, makes the tackle in the secondary, and now you can see why Danny Ford had a big smile on his face yesterday when he was telling us about Bullard.
He is clever, isn't he? Quick feet. And he, too, is a north and south runner. As we said before, in this stadium, it's east and west. But he heads for that end zone.
There is Danny Ford in the orange sweater and the headset kneeling down on the Clemson sideline. Wilbur Bullard is from North Carolina. 2:07 to go in the game, and now a timeout. North Carolina calls their first timeout to stop the clock with 2:07 remaining. We'll return to Death Valley in Clemson, South Carolina, with North Carolina leading Clemson 24-19.
Watch out. Winter's almost here, and wind's gonna get you, and cold's gonna get you, and high fuel bills are gonna get you, because you still haven't added more insulation to your attic. So do it now. Get more Owens Corning fiberglass insulation and add another layer to put your house in the pink. See your dealer or contractor. Buy more Owens Corning fiberglass insulation now, before winter gets you.
They said you should go into medicine, but you had other ideas.
And Monte Carlo.
Your car is the strikingly new 1981 Monte Carlo with economical V6 power, low, lean, sculpted to cheat the wind. And you'll choose it because you're proud of who you are.
And Monte Carlo.
1981 Monte Carlo, a matter of personal pride from Chevrolet.
Z, we have a very possible upset in the making here. Now, one thing that's important for Clemson is that if they do score a touchdown, it might be nice for them to waste a play or two first, so that North Carolina would not have too much time on the clock. That possibly is why they took a timeout, so that they could save some time on the clock should Clemson score on the first play.
It is second down, 4 yards to go from the 6 or 7 yard line. Bullard again diving inside the 5. They'll mark it at about the 4 yard line for a gain of 3. They'll be a couple of yards short of the first down, however. It'll be third down and about 3 yards to go. The clock running with 1 minute 45 seconds remaining in the game. As you look at Dick Crum on the North Carolina sideline, beginning to feel the pressure as Clemson has really battled back here in the fourth quarter. North Carolina led 14-0. They led 24-6 in the third quarter. The fourth quarter, however, has been all Clemson. It is 3rd and 2. Jordan still has it. Throwing into the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Jeff Wells, the freshman tight end. Greg Poole was covering him on the play. It'll be 4th down and 2 yards to go from just inside the North Carolina 5.
Homer Jordan, once again, bootlegging to his left, tries to throw the sideline route to the end zone, and he is just overshooting his receiver by about a yard or two. Very shortly, of course, we're going to be choosing a most valuable player for both teams for Chevrolet. We'll talk more about that. An upset in the making there.
Florida leading Georgia 21-20. We'll be back. 1:22 left to go in this one. I know you will not go away.
Do you know me? Playing football, sure. But my name comes up 0 in English rugby. So when I travel, I carry the American Express card. And even if I fumble and lose it, they'll give me another card fast. Usually the next business day. Lose the card and I'm protected. You can lose your life in there.
To apply for a card, look for this display wherever the card is welcomed.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Hi, honey.
Hey, where are the kids?
Spending the night at Mother's.
We're alone?
Open up and taste the moment. This time, the best is just what you deserve.
It's time for Erlanger. One look, one sip, one taste will tell you this beer is a classic.
When you want to fill your life up to the very brim.
Here's to my mother-in-law.
Come and taste the moment, Erlanger.
Clemson took their second of 3 timeouts as they face a 4th down and 2 situation at the 4.5 yard line of North Carolina. 1 minute 22 seconds remaining in the game. Clemson trying to battle back and can take the lead with a touchdown here. 4th down, 2 yards to go. They can get a first down without scoring. Jordan on the option. Bullard and has a first down. Stopping the clock near the 1 yard line.
This is called turning adversity to advantage. Here is the pitch. Now watch this. Bullard dribbles the ball once, picks it up, and then rushes for the key first down of the day.
Lawrence Taylor grabbed him out of bounds, but not before. Wilbur Bullard took it down to the 1 yard line. It's 1st and goal. Clemson from the 1. 1 minute, 15 seconds remaining in the game. Bullard diving. He's short of the goal line, however. Daryl Nicholson, 29, up from the secondary to make the hit along with number 90, John Brugos.
This, should they score, would be a textbook drive because they have really taken their time in getting to the end zone.
50 seconds remaining, and here are the Chevrolet most valuable players.
Homer Jordan, of course, for Clemson, and Kelvin Bryant for North Carolina. We will talk more about that momentarily.
Second and goal. Bullard trying to break in. He cannot. In fact, he might have lost a yard back to the 2-yard line. It depends on if they give him his forward progress. Clemson takes their final timeout, stopping the clock with 35 seconds remaining. Calvin Daniels, number 93, and Daryl Nicholson, number 29, with a big defensive play for North Carolina.
And for those Chevy players, Homer Jordan and Bryant, go $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund in the name of the player on behalf of Chevrolet. Kelvin Bryant having a career high today, 23 carries for 138 yards.
And there's the other Chevrolet most valuable player for Clemson, Homer Jordan.
His numbers read 11 of 17 in the passing department for 207 yards, and he has really shown a lot of leadership ability for a sophomore quarterback. Today he became the career total offense leader as a sophomore, surpassing that mark held previously by Steve Fuller. 35 seconds remain on the clock. Clemson has no more timeouts remaining. They have a 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. They are 4 of 13 on 3rd and 4th down conversions this afternoon. They have over 60,000 fans supporting them and urging them on in an effort to pull off what would be an upset and would really scramble up the Atlantic Coast Conference standings. So this is quite a decision. Do you pass for it or run for it? If you run for it, you may not get off another play. I personally would like some type of a rollout where you have the option.
And as final athlete as Homer Jordan is, that might be what they're going to do. We will see on 3rd and goal from the 2. Jordan has it. He fumbles the football. I believe the whistle had blown. The referee is indicating that the whistle had blown. No, now we have an injured player on the part of Clemson down on the field. There has been no indication whether Clemson still has the football or whether it was, in fact, a fumble. We will assume that Clemson still has the football, and they gave Jordan his forward progress, the whistle blowing when he was in the grasp of the defender. Number 68, Gary Brown, appears to be the injured player who's having his ankle attended to, and Dick Crum is not happy. Calvin Daniels with a big defensive play, wrapping up Homer Jordan for a loss. And again, we're not sure whether this is a for real injury, Cupper, or just...
I think that's what Dick Crum is unhappy about.
Exactly.
I remember some of the teams I played for, in situations like this, we had cued people in advance to fall down and start screaming. Now, the play action pass, and here is the hit, which forces the fumble. Or is it an incomplete pass? What is the ruling?
Well, they marked the ball at the 10-yard line. Clemson retaining possession as you see Gary Brown coming off. And if he's not hurt, he's doing a good job.
He's doing a terrific job, yeah.
Nonetheless, the clock is stopped with 28 seconds. Brown taking his time getting to the sidelines. They're going to hold him up. It is 4th and goal from the 10-yard line for Clemson in an attempt to pull off an upset. It's been all Clemson in the 4th quarter after being all North Carolina the majority of the football game.
Georgia now back out in front of Florida, 26-21. They call that one the biggest outdoor cocktail party in the world.
On 4th down and goal, Clemson trailing by 5 points. Their last shot, probably. Jordan gets it away, incomplete. Steve Streeter was covering on the play. The pass intended for Jerry Gilliard in the end zone. It is incomplete, and North Carolina will take over on downs at their own 10-yard line.
Looking back to the previous play, I don't think the play action pass was the call. I think a sprint out or immediate rollout would have been a better call for Homer Jordan.
By staying in the pocket, he gave him the opportunity to wrap him up in the backfield, which is exactly what happened.
Tee off.
Back to the 10 really prevented them from scoring. Dick Crum on the sidelines with some of the pressure relieved. 21 seconds on the clock. North Carolina holding on 24-19, and they have the football back. Clemson has no timeouts remaining. Rod Elkins just falling on the football. Clemson having no way to stop the clock as we are now down to 11 seconds, and the crowd begins to count. Many of the faithful Clemson fans filing out of Clemson Memorial Stadium and Frank Howard Field here in Clemson, South Carolina. And we're sure that you've enjoyed this one as the first of our doubleheader here today. Be sure to stay tuned. There's more football to follow right here on ABC this afternoon. North Carolina has held on to maintain their lead in the Atlantic Coast Conference, pushing their season record to 8-1, 4-0 in the conference with a 24-19 hard-earned victory over the Clemson Tigers here in South Carolina today. A game cover that was full of almost every element you'd want to see in college football.
This is one of the finest football games, I think, of the 1980 season. Certainly the best that I have covered.
All right, we're going to take you now to the big matchup between Florida and Georgia. Let's go down to Florida right now.
To go 93 yards with just a little over a minute to go after you had failed to do anything for practically a quarter, all on, I give credit for three people. One, Belush, moving over to the right, the great catch by Scott, the block by Jones, and then the speed of Lindsey Scott taking it all the way down.
Well, Georgia trying to stay unbeaten in the conference. They have one more conference game left as you look at Scott again. Next week, Georgia to take on Auburn. And the Tigers have been a nemesis for Georgia the past couple of years. Lindsey Scott.
If our next game's coming up, Stanford and Southern Cal and Florida State and Virginia Tech. McNeese and Louisiana Tech are as exciting as this one. I don't know how the football fan at home could survive. I couldn't.
Florida gets a break because of what happened in the end zone. The ensuing celebration following the touchdown, they've been assessed a 15-yard penalty, which is tacked onto the kickoff. That does mean that Georgia kicks off from its own 25-yard line. Meanwhile, you saw Tech still leading Notre Dame 3-0, and there are only 4 minutes to play in that game. This could be the all-time day for the Peach State, the way things are turning out now. Different story over there, the Gator bench, watching a lead evaporate. Robinson's kick taken at the 15-yard line by John L. Brown to the 30 and dropped at the 36-yard line. So here come the Gators now with exactly 59 seconds remaining in the game.
We've still got to praise this Florida football team who, as you said earlier, Al, were out of the ball game, came back and went ahead and looked like they had it won, and then just in total disbelief, a Georgia touchdown may have taken it away from them.
Wayne Peace is 20 out of 36 for 286 yards today. First down from the 36-yard line. Over the middle and intercepted at the 45-yard line by Mike Fisher, and he gets to the 36, and that should wrap it up. The Georgia Bulldogs have really pulled one out of a hat.
Unbelievable. Here's young freshman quarterback who I've got to praise. He's throwing the ball, and you never overthrow a pass down the middle. It's likely to be intercepted. Mike Fisher, number 31, with a game-saving interception, putting Georgia in position to run the clock out since Florida has no timeouts left. They do not have to do anything, Georgia, but fall on the football, and they're still undefeated.
Because of the length of this game, no Prudential scoreboard following this one. Will immediately be joining the games you'll be watching as the second half of this doubleheader. We've got a penalty flag down, and that stops the clock at 46 seconds remaining. Coming up, SC Stanford, Virginia Tech, Florida State, then still his brother Bill leading Tech.
McNeese State and Louisiana Tech on college football. And what a first half we have had from Jacksonville today. A thriller, 26-21 Georgia.
Fans that are going to see Stanford, we talked about earlier, but John Elway, the 6'2" quarterback from Stanford, I think, and everyone has seen him play, thinks he's going to be the greatest quarterback of all time. A great arm, mobile, the awareness to pick defenses apart, and they will throw from anywhere on the field.
All he did last week was throw 6 touchdown passes, 4 in the first quarter.
And then Southern Cal has one of the great offensive football teams in America. The mixture that keeps the defense off balance with Gordon Adams and, of course, Marcus Allen, the leading rusher. I think any of the leading rusher right now in America and the nation. Boy, that should be some football game as well as the others.
15-yard march off here against Georgia.
Illegal participation, 12 men on the field.
Yeah, that'll do it. Good way to describe it.
12 men on the field that play, it's a 15-yard penalty. If one man fails to get off and he's the 12th man, it's a 5-yard penalty. Had to explain that in the game between Penn State and Alabama, as you remember, when for the national championship. 15-yard penalty and gave Alabama a first down on a punt.
The problem with Florida right now is they don't have a timeout. They can't stop the clock. So Ballou simply falls on it, and that's going to do it. They do not have to run another play. Meanwhile, run down the top 10 quickly. It's late in the fourth. Georgia Tech leading Notre Dame. A stunner there. As time expires here in Jacksonville. And this storied rivalry, they've got another chapter that is going to take several pages to cover when they write about this one. Ben Stooley coming over to try to find Charlie Pell. There they are. Boy, I tell you, that Pell has done some job in Florida. They lost today, but 10-1 last year, and to come that close to upsetting the number 2 ranked Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia, meanwhile, now 5-0 in the conference. They've got their reservations to New Orleans for New Year's Day. All they have to do next week is defeat Auburn, and of course hope that LSU loses to Alabama today. Final score 26-21. The Bulldogs winning it at the Gator Bowl. Late fourth quarter, Notre Dame has come up with a field goal with less than 4 minutes to play in the game. Notre Dame has now tied Georgia Tech 3-3. And of course, stay tuned for the second half of our doubleheader as we'll update that one, and we should have the final, obviously, for you within the next few minutes. Al Michaels, Frank Broyles, our thanks to Kelly Hayes, George Hill for their great work, saying goodbye from Jacksonville. Travel arrangements were made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. That's what friendly skies are all about. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports. Again, the final, the Georgia Bulldogs 26 and the Florida Gators 21.
Tonight at 8, 7 Central and Mountain, a 90-minute Love Boat special. The gorgeous Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders come cruising and almost cost Gopher his job. Then magical ice skates turn Charlene Tilton into a champion on Fantasy Island's 90-minute special tonight here on ABC.